Hello and welcome everybody to Flicker Effect. For those of you new to the show, normally we talk all things film and TV. We do movie trailer reactions and movie reviews, but we also love conventions. We were actually just recently at San Diego Comic-Con, and we've got another convention coming up soon, and that's what we are talking about today. That is Dragon Con in Atlanta. If you're not familiar with Dragon Con, Dragon Con is a multimedia pop culture event that happens in Atlanta every Labor Day weekend. And it's, in my opinion, I think in a lot of people's opinion, it's very different from most conventions like this. So there's a lot to get into. This is How to Dragon Con 2025. Definitely a show geared toward people who might want to get some tips before attending their first time. But we also think this show is for everybody. So you might be able to give us some tips that we haven't heard before. We are definitely not going to pretend to be like the greatest experts of Dragon Con. We're just going to share our experience and hopefully learn from those of you in the chat and in the comments as well. But first, I'm David Lott, and I am not alone. Joining me for this is Michelle Hillard. How's it going, Michelle?
Hello. Hi, everybody. Hi, David.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So yeah, I want to welcome our Twitch audience that is watching us live. We are streaming this live. It is Saturday night, August 16th.
Week and a half to go.
Week and a half. I was going to say less than 2 weeks, but yeah, right about a week and a half to go till Dragon Con.
I mean, technically it's 11 days, 19 hours, 50 minutes, and 39 seconds.
That's right. I forgot that I have the Dragon Con, the web page up over here with the countdown. So that makes it easy to determine like how long we have.
Yeah, 11 days.
But yeah, like I said, we're here to hang out and talk all things Dragon Con. But this is How to Dragon Con. So one, if you are getting ready to attend your first Dragon Con, hopefully we can give you some tips and help you. Or if you are a seasoned Dragon Con veteran, maybe you can give us some tips, and you can jump in the comments or in the chat on Twitch and let us know if you think we're crazy about some of the stuff we're about to say, or if you have some things you wanted to bring up that we're forgetting to bring up. Who knows? I've got a list here of ideas, but it's hard to cover everything because there's so much.
There is so much. Like, there's a lot to Dragon Con.
There is a lot.
I guess maybe the first thing is like badges, which they're not really even called badges. They're
badges, but I guess, yeah, like that was one thing that threw me off, I think, before I went my first year and I was going to buy my badge, because I'm just used to like going to a website for a con like MegaCon or Comic-Con and figuring out how to buy a badge. And I'm like, where on this website is it? And yeah, they're called memberships, which maybe there's other conventions that do that. And I'm weird for thinking that's different, but I wasn't used to it. I was all thrown off.
It seems pretty different to me.
Yeah, I think it is.
But I think there's still a couple of if you're not doing a whole weekend, I think there's still a couple of one-day badges for certain days. I don't know if Saturday's sold out or not yet, but.
Yeah, they don't start selling single day until pretty close to con, and they are on sale now. I forget how many days ago they started selling them, but they are on sale if you're watching this right around the time we're releasing it. But usually Saturday, I think, does sell out for single day badges, single day memberships. Sorry.
Let's see. I'm looking to see if anything's sold out right now. Right now, it looks like they're still on the single days.
They're all good to go.
They're still good to go. You can purchase the 5-day membership, which is all 5 days: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Labor Day. And that is $175. That gets you all 5 days.
Okay.
Which actually isn't that bad, in my opinion, for 5 days of entertainment. Otherwise, if you just want to come in for a day, if you're close to the Atlanta area, Thursday is available for $35. Friday is available for $55. Saturday for $75. Saturday's a busy day because there's the parade and everything. Sunday $65, and then Monday is $35 again. So.
And Valencia in the chat, Valencia112 mentioned that I think they started selling August 1st.
That sounds about right. It was pretty recently. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think maybe because you're a first-time chatter, it's not showing up on the screen, but if you continue to chat, I'm sure it will. But yeah, where was I? Where were we?
So you need a badge to go to Dragon Con.
Well, yeah. And I was just going to say too, or I was going to say something, kind of just getting things going. And I can't remember what now. This is a laid back affair.
I'm sorry, I've thrown you all off your game.
You're fine. You wanted to jump into badges. It's fine, Michelle.
I mean, it's like, cool. You know, it's one of the important things to the cons. You gotta have a badge, and I say that because honestly, like, you gotta have a badge to walk into the buildings. Otherwise, they don't let you in unless you have a hotel reservation at the hotels.
Yeah, you
aren't getting in. They're pretty strict about that.
Right. No, I was gonna point out a couple things. Like one, I think it's probably pretty clear. We are not at all officially associated with Dragon Con. No. This is a fan podcast, a fan show. We are just sharing our own tips. We have both volunteered at Dragon Con in the past. We are not volunteering this year. We may volunteer again in the future. I might. I don't know. But we have volunteered. So we do have experience from that perspective, but we are not officially associated with Dragon Con. We are not spokespeople for Dragon Con. I just want to make that super clear before we get into some of the stuff we're going to mention. Yeah. We have no inside information as to what is going on behind the scenes at Dragon Con. So I just felt like that was worth mentioning.
No, that's good housekeeping.
And then I just kind of wanted us both to kind of give a perspective of like, where do we come at all the stuff we're going to say from? Like, what's your Dragon Con experience, Michelle? How many years have you been attending?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that.
Yeah, are you ready for this?
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember if it was 2015 or 2016. That was my first year. You probably remember better than I do.
I don't think I do. I'm terrible, especially since the pandemic, of remembering what happened in what year. That I think screwed a lot of us up in our timelines. Yeah. Especially me. Well, so I'm the last person you should ask.
I just remembered my very first year Dragon Con. I literally went for, I want to say 36 hours. Maybe it was 48 in total. I don't know. I basically flew, we live in Orlando, and I flew from Orlando to Atlanta on a very quick flight and took the MARTA in to the downtown area from the airport. And I was basically there, I want to say at like 9 a.m. in the morning on, was it a Saturday? Yeah, I got there Saturday morning.
I think it was, yeah.
And you met me, and then we went and got my badge, and then I left. I had a night at an Airbnb one night. I don't even know how I accomplished that. It was definitely pre-pandemic days. And then I left Sunday night on like, I want to say a 10 p.m. flight back to Orlando. So yeah, it was a pretty quick whirlwind weekend for me. But it was fun. I had a great time and I liked it so much. I started going every year. I mean, obviously, except for 2020. But otherwise, every single year since that year, which was either 2015 or 2016, I can't remember anymore. And I've liked Dragon Con so much that the last 3 years I volunteered. My first year was 2022, and then 2023, and in 2024 I volunteered. And I had a really good experience doing that. It's a very different con experience than just not volunteering, than just being a person going. But I will say, even though those two experiences are different, both are great. I've not had a bad con yet, knock on wood. I have not ended up getting sick while on con, and that is also a big win. But yeah, this year, not volunteering, going back to the old days where I just go and attend the convention, and yeah. But yeah, maybe I'll volunteer in the future. I'm sure I will, actually. I don't know. This year's taking a year off. 3 years of volunteering was kind of a lot, but it was good. Good experiences. I've had good track record, and I think you have too, overall.
Yeah, I think my first year, I believe, I've been going to Dragon Con every year since 2013. And I say it like that because for some reason I had in my head that my first year was 2012. And I feel like if you go back and watch our previous two How to Dragon Con videos, I probably went through this. I said this whole same thing that I couldn't remember if I went in 2012 or not. But yeah, I think my first year was 2013. And I've been going every year since. So this will be, what will that make this? This will be my 13th DragonCon if I include the virtual year, which we should all include the virtual year. None of us could go in person.
So yeah, we sat here, we watched it from home.
Right.
Because of the wonders of DragonCon TV, which we will get into.
Right. We'll get into lots of things. But yeah, I have volunteered. Was it one more year than you or 2 more years?
Yeah, you did it in 2021. You did it the first year.
I did it right after the coming back from the pandemic. That's right.
And then 2022, 2023, 2024. Yeah. So you've done 4 years and I've done 3.
We both have experience volunteering with the digital media track, which we still love very much and will hopefully be involved in. But we're not volunteering this year with that track. But
we're still going to go down and say hey to everybody.
I mean, we're going to be down there a lot. Look at this is what we do.
This is
digital media. So
it's a great track, by the way.
No, it's a great track.
Just putting that out there.
Of course. So yeah, I've been going since 2013. And yeah, I fell in love with it pretty quickly. That first year was interesting. I was supposed to go with a friend, and he had, for personal reasons, like at the last minute, had to cancel. And I remember it was like, oh man, what do I do? Do I still go? And, I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go by myself. And I want to check this convention out. Like I just had my heart set on it. I had the time already set to take off. So I'd gotten a room at some hotel, like on the outskirts of I'm not an expert on the layout of Atlanta, but it was on the out of downtown, definitely. It was like near one of the MARTA stations outside of the outskirts of Atlanta. And I was like, I'll just take the MARTA in every day and then just take the MARTA back to my hotel every night. And then that first day I get there pretty early, which already I remember this was like, okay, it's the first full day, which was Friday. This was back when Thursday was purely just like a badge pickup day, and that was it. And I get there early Friday, and I was like, man, where is everybody? Like, I'm so used to going to conventions where everybody is there, like first thing in the morning. And I quickly learned that DragonCon doesn't exactly work that way. A lot of people sleep in, but I wasn't staying in a host hotel yet, and I wasn't used to that whole vibe. And but long story short, I ended up being able to stay in a host hotel that weekend, and I think it changed my total perspective change of DragonCon. I found out a friend was staying in the Marriott and they needed another person to split the room with them, and I ended up just leaving, getting out of the hotel that I had on the outskirts and stayed at the Marriott that whole weekend, and it was fantastic. And I say that not to say that you couldn't have a great time staying at a non-host hotel. Absolutely you can. But I think it was a nice jumping in perspective for me that first year. And yeah, I've been ever since. It's been great. So that's how long I've been going. What was it, Valencia? My first DragonCon was in 2019. I was there Saturday through Monday. I decided to go the week before or 2 weeks before. Nice.
It's funny. I feel like it seems very accurate that people, when they wind up going for the very first time to DragonCon, every person I know that's ever told me like, oh, how they wound up going, it's always kind of a last minute decision. And it's usually not for a full weekend because they just kind of buy whatever passes they can either A, procure, or B, have time off from jobs. So I feel like everybody kind of, their very first DragonCon, it's always like a random like set of days, and it's never like the whole con. But then people that usually wind up loving DragonCon come back, and then the next year they're like, oh yeah, no, about the whole weekend, all 5 days. I'm at a host hotel this year. Like they're like all in, all the way. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
This is funny.
But that's where we come at DragonCon from. We've been going for a little bit. But let's get into it for those of you who are new, I guess, shall we? And I mean, for me, I think we always start with this with our previous how-to videos, and we're going to do it again because it's, I think, one of the main things that makes DragonCon different from every other convention I've been to, and that is kind of the setting. And, a bit like we mentioned, we've been to San Diego Comic-Con. I've been to that convention quite a few times. Been to MegaCon here in Orlando, been to some other conventions. And usually a lot of these bigger conventions anyway are in convention centers.
Yeah.
And
a convention, singular.
a big convention center, most likely. And Dragon Con is not like that. Dragon Con takes place across 5 host hotels in downtown Atlanta. And I actually have a map. Let's pull up the map, shall we?
Let's get the map.
Let's get that map out. This is a satellite view of the area of downtown Atlanta that the convention takes place in. And it takes place in these 5 host hotels. The Hyatt Regency, the Atlanta Marriott Marquis, the Hilton Atlanta, the Westin Peachtree Plaza, and the Cortland Grand, formerly the Sheraton. And it definitely creates a different vibe for this convention compared to any other convention I've attended. I'm sure, especially smaller conventions, I'm sure there's many small conventions that take place in like a single hotel convention center. And I'm sure there might be other, conventions out there that take place across multiple hotels, but I don't know. I'm not familiar with them. And if any of you out there are, please let us know. This is the only one I've ever attended that is like this. But with this kind of setup of the hotel taking place, or the convention taking place in these hotels, not everybody at the convention is staying in these hotels, but these hotels are packed full of hotel guests that are all attending Dragon Con. And we are basically just staying at the convention the entire time. Mm-hmm. And it creates this kind of party atmosphere that's a lot of fun. The convention during the day is, pretty typical to most pop culture conventions. There's panels, and we'll get into that. That's also kind of different. But this is like one of the, if not the biggest difference that sets Dragon Con apart from most other conventions, at least that I'm familiar with, is this setting being across these hotels like this.
Yeah. And I think what's really neat about it is that even though the hotels, kind of 3 of them are connected through walkway paths. But even the other 2, even though these hotels are kind of in the downtown area and I want to say spread out, but they're not really spread out that far. Like the walking distance between the Westin to the Hyatt is extremely short.
I mean, it's a block.
Yeah. And like in the same Cortland over to like the Marriott or the Hilton, it's nothing. It is literally, it's a 5-minute walk. It is very short. It's not that far. Like, so even though those 2 hotels aren't even connected to the other 3, it still is very, very nearby. And so that's what's really kind of neat about it, is that you have that. And then we'll get into it, but there's a food court that's kind of in the middle in a weird way. And like, I don't know, there's things that kind of take up your space. Like, and so you go back and forth between all these hotels very quickly and easily. Right. You don't really even realize that they're not really connected, if that makes any sense. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess going back to this map again, like you just said, so you got the Hyatt and the Marriott and the Hilton. Again, if you've never been to this before and this is your first time, you'll quickly learn those 3 hotels are connected by sky bridges. Mm-hmm. And Atlanta seems to love their sky bridges.
They do love their sky bridges. I'm
not saying I've never been to a downtown area where I've seen sky bridges. Sure, I have, but I feel like I've never seen it like I've seen it in Atlanta. But those 3 hotels kind of end up being, in a way, kind of the core center of the convention. And I think it helps with them being so close to each other, and that you never have to go outside to move around between those 2 hotels. You can just use the sky bridges. And depending on how busy the convention is at the time, the sky bridges can get pretty packed. It could definitely happen. They can
get very, very full, but and then with the Marriott right in the middle, it winds up being kind of like the hub hotel of all of them. I would say it's definitely where the hive kind of.
I think especially because it's in the middle, and the atrium level is a very big open kind of, I don't know, just kind of atmosphere, if you will, that like just kind of makes it simple to be kind of the center of everything, as you can see here. Like this is the Marriott, and I mean, I don't remember what year I shot this, but this is kind of peak like probably a Saturday night or something.
I was gonna say Thursday or Friday.
It could be. It could be.
I
don't think that's a Thursday, but it could be. It could be.
Could be a Friday night. Saturday night, I feel like is a little busier than that, but
yeah, it could be. But yeah, with that open atmosphere that the Marriott has, it lends itself to being kind of it's literally the center hotel, and it just seems like it's the center of all the kind of party activity.
Yeah,
anyway.
It kind of just winds being the hub. It's funny, Valencia says sometimes she thinks the Cortland is far, but it really isn't. And it really isn't. The Cortland really isn't that far, especially when you're going between like the Cortland and the Hilton. You know, you're not crossing the major road. I say major road, but you know,
right.
It's very easy to get from there here to there. It's
totally. But yeah, the Cortland, not far. The Westin, not far. Mm-hmm. Now, I will say, if you're going like from the Cortland or the Hilton up to the Westin, it's a nice uphill to get up to the Westin, where the Westin is. But it's still not a far walk.
It's not bad.
Now, it is Atlanta in the very end of the summer. It's very hot. And I know I hear that a lot when it comes to this convention that, oh, it's super hot in Atlanta. And I'm not trying to say it's not hot in Atlanta, but from my experience, I don't spend a lot of time outdoors at this convention. And no. I mean, I will say, granted, most of the time, my experience, and I probably should have mentioned this too when I was talking about my Dragon Con experience, but I have stayed at the Marriott most years. I've stayed in the Hilton before, once, maybe twice. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was twice. I don't remember. But anyway, I have stayed in the Hilton. And I stayed in the Sheraton and or Cortland Grand. But I've never stayed in the Hyatt. And this year will be our first Westin experience. We are staying in the Westin for the first time this year. But we've also stayed in the Ritz. We haven't even gotten to that yet. That's a non-host hotel, but it's basically in the center of everything.
It's literally between the Westin and the Cortland.
Yeah, it's right across from the Westin. It's
one of this building. It's literally like the building right across from the Westin.
Yeah, that kind of block directly east of the Westin and 2 blocks south of the Hyatt. I don't really have a way of like pointing it out here on screen.
Yeah, it's like
but
kind of it looks a little pink on the thing, but that's the Ritz.
That's the Ritz. So the Ritz, we've stayed in the Ritz too.
Yeah, we stayed there twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
We stayed at the Ritz.
I've stayed at the Ritz
and the Ritz is a fun stay. The Ritz is a fun stay, in my opinion. It's very different. It's not, the other hotels definitely have more party hangout vibes. The Ritz does not.
Oh no, the Ritz is very just chill. There's a lot of Dragon Con attendees staying there, and especially some like of the celebrity guests will stay in the Ritz. But no, there is no like kind of Dragon Con panel stuff happening there, and there's definitely no like party kind of atmosphere happening at the Ritz whatsoever.
But I would say if you are looking for something that's a little more mellow, the Ritz-Carlton is definitely a perfect stay, because there's definitely people there that are there for the convention, but then you also get people that come in for the football game. There's a big football game every Saturday, every year on Labor Day weekend in Atlanta. So it's kind of an interesting mix of people. And then there are some guests, panelists that are attending Dragon Con that wind up staying there. And you never know who you're going to bump into. We've stayed on floors with famous people. And I've definitely walked in different directions of them and been like, oh, hey, hi, how are you? So yeah, no, the Ritz-Carlton stay is always, it's kind of nice. It's a nice change.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you are down for being at one of the host hotels and you want to be in the thick of it, the Marriott, the Hilton, the Hyatt, you're definitely, you're there. You are in the con experience.
Yeah.
100% for sure.
So again, going back to the layout, I'm going to keep going back to this map because I can't help myself.
We love this map. It's the best map.
Again, for those of you who have never been here before, this isn't everything though. It's not just a hotel. So basically the panels and, there's night stuff, parties and everything will be happening in these hotels. But this isn't all of it. The vendors don't have a place in any of these hotels, like what you're normally used to at a convention. You go to a convention at a convention center and you've got a big exhibit floor. That is not in any of the hotels. It's over in the America's Mart, which is 2 buildings, but the vendors are in building 2. So America's Mart 3 is also being used for gaming. I don't think there's anything else other than gaming in there, but correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I know that that's kind of new, the gaming being in the America's Mart Building 3. It's relatively new. And maybe they've kicked a few other things over there to that building. I'm not aware of. I think panels are still not happening in America's Mart 3. Panels are still just mainly at the main hotels, but still, like, it's a testament to how this convention is growing, that basically the gaming used to be in one of the hotels and then it moved into building 2 at America's Mart, and now it's in building 3 at America's Mart. Like, the gaming has grown so much, it just keeps having to move locations to be able to hold everything, which is great. Like, I like seeing that things are growing and that things have to move to venues that are larger just to hold it, which is, it's good news. It's a good thing. That's for sure.
Right. So this is basically your convention layout, including everything. Your 5 hotels, America's Mart. Again, the vendor hall is 3 floors over in America's Mart Building 2. And then gaming is in America's Mart 3. It's definitely something that when you first arrive, you're probably going to want to walk it and check it all out. And then when it comes to that, there are tours. There's actually it is a fan run group. It's not official, but I think Dragon Con does officially put them on the schedule, which is the Dragon Con Newbies group. Let me pull up. They've got a Facebook page. If I could bring it up here somewhere. Where is it? There it is.
There you go.
Dragon Con Newbies. This is their Facebook group. I think they have a website as well, but really, if I'm right, I believe most of their activity and most of their up-to-date news is on their Facebook page.
And a quick tip, a lot of Dragon Con groups and information is on Facebook.
It is. For better or for worse.
For better or worse, I will say
we both fall in the world of I'm not a big user of Facebook anymore, and the only reason I probably still have a Facebook account is because of different Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and most of them are like Dragon Con groups, like Dragon Con Newbies.
I basically have Facebook just because of Dragon Con. If Dragon Con wasn't so Facebook based, I would not have a Facebook any longer.
Right.
Like, I would cancel it, but I keep it because of Dragon Con and the groups and the information that they put out. So if you're looking for Dragon Con information, just go into Facebook and start searching Dragon Con pages. You will be inundated with them. But the newbie group is a great group. If it's your very first Dragon Con, they are very helpful. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, they do walking tours.
Yep.
I don't think it's just Thursday. They might go into Friday as well. I don't know.
I think they do Thursday, Friday, but
they may do every day.
They might even do every day for all I know anymore now. I don't know.
But once the official schedule comes out, which we'll get to that, I believe Dragon Con does put them on the official schedule, even though the group themselves isn't official. But they have great volunteers within that group that will do these private tours. I think they do it in like groups of 20, and they'll walk you around all the hotels and show you where everything is and kind of start to give you a sense of the layout. And Valencia, you pointed out, they also have a Q&A panel. Yep. So yeah, they're a very helpful group, great group. Yeah. So if you are on Facebook, you can join this group and start to check out their stuff there.
I would say the walking tour is really good if you're the kind of person that when you get to the airport, you go check to see where your gate is before you go get a snack or go to the bathroom. This is a great group for you because they're going to walk you to every hotel and show you where all the things are before you wind up just being on your own.
Right.
So if you're that kind of a person, it's a great thing for you to do. It's a great resource.
Yeah. And I don't know if you're still there, Jen O'Con. Hi. You. I guess also because you're a first-time chatter, didn't show up on the screen, but hi. Thanks for watching. Okay. Yeah, where was I going to go next with this? I don't know. Where was I going to go next with this?
What was going to be next?
I don't know.
Let's see what you got.
I don't know. What do you got, Michelle? You bring something up. I'm bringing everything up here.
I guess the next thing we talked, I quickly spoke about badges. So you do have to have a badge because otherwise, and I say, again, I'm not representing the convention at all, but on Thursdays, it might be a little more loosey-goosey in and out of the hotels. By Friday, they are really checking for badges, and they're making sure that you do have a Dragon Con badge before you go into the hotel. So if you are one of those people that thinks that you can just kind of sneak in and be, walk around amongst the peoples, I would say good luck to you, but I would never hinge my bets on that. You need to have a badge to be able to go into these 5 host hotels and into the America's Mart. And I will say that you definitely aren't getting to the America's Mart without a badge. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. But yeah, no, get yourself a badge. And yeah, if you are checking out Dragon Con and you're like, I don't want to do a whole 5 days and invest that much money, come on Thursday, come on Friday, spend the day, see what it's all about. It's a lot of fun. Thursdays and Fridays are actually a great day. I think those are actually some of my better con fun days.
Well, Saturday is crazy.
Saturday is very busy. It's definitely the peak of the convention. That is for sure. There's a lot happening on Saturdays. Some of the bigger panels happen Saturdays. Mm-hmm. There's literally a parade that goes through downtown Atlanta just for Dragon Con. That's full of Dragon Con attendees and volunteers. It's a lot of fun, but people of Atlanta will come in to the downtown area because it's free. The parade is free for everyone to enjoy, and anyone can go see that. So Saturday is definitely a peak day for sure. Sundays are great days though as well. So yeah, if you don't want to be amongst the peak of people, I would say Thursday, Friday, and Sunday they're great days to come and just really hang out and get a vibe for if you just wanted to pay for like 1 or 2 days badges, in my opinion.
And speaking of memberships / badges, you're probably already aware of this, but yeah, you'll pick those up at the Cortland Grand. I don't think that has changed. I'm pretty sure that's still where badge pickup is.
Badge pickup is the Cortland Grand. They love doing it there. It's down in the bottom. Yep. I say the basement. I always say the basement, but yeah, it's in their convention area kind of, and it's one of those things where I feel like badge pickup at the beginning of a day, the line is always very long and it looks very intimidating and it makes you go, oh my gosh, that does not look worthwhile to me. I will say the volunteers, the people that organize Dragon Con, it makes the line go very quickly. It really moves.
They've gotten a lot more efficient since at least the first year I went. I remember the first year I went, I don't remember how long I waited, but I waited a while. It moves pretty well now. I mean, there's still times you're going to walk up and it's going to be wrapped around the Cortland Grand at first, but it moves.
It really does. I think, just, be very patient, but I will say it looks way worse than it actually is. It's very intimidating when you first see that line, but I can almost guarantee you'll be fine. We all have cell phones. We have ways of entertainment now. Just kill 30 minutes of our day. It moves pretty quick. So badge pickup is at the Cortland.
Yeah, and really quick, badge pickup hours. So that Thursday is going to be the first day you can pick up badges, and badge pickup officially starts at 10 a.m. I've heard rumors that if, the volunteers and they are ready to start badge pickup earlier, possibly it'll start before 10, but I wouldn't count on it. Just count on it starting at 10. And the first day, it's open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then Friday, it's 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, it's 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then if you're picking up a badge for Monday, maybe you're just coming for Monday, it's 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yep.
So yeah, badge pick up at the Cortland Grand.
I guess the next big thing would be, honestly, it would be the app, because I feel like there's just so much information in the app. I mean, maybe you wanted to go somewhere else.
No. We'll go to the app.
Oh.
Just messing with you.
We can keep talking about the hotels.
This is a laid back affair. We're going to cover lots of stuff.
You want to talk about the hotels? I can talk about the hotels for an hour at least.
We could talk about Dragon Con for 5 hours or more.
Easily.
We wanted to, easily. We've got drinks. This isn't water.
We could take a break, refill, and come back. We can do lots of things. This is a Dragon Con drinks.
These are Dragon Con drinks for real. So there is a Dragon Con app. It became downloadable like 2 or 3 days ago. Mm-hmm. As of this
for this year's convention.
Recording for this year's convention. I say, you can download the app at all times from the App Store, either, iOS App Store or Android App Store. But if you've never used one of the convention apps like this, you'll go in the app and it will have you can download either previous years or the next one. And 2025 became downloadable 2 days ago. But just because it became downloadable, there's no event schedule yet in the app. The rumor for that is that it will hopefully, fingers crossed, be available on Monday. I know I saw somewhere online where there was a screenshot shared of the official DragonCon Facebook account or something responding to someone saying it should hopefully be available Monday. And then I heard that also on the town hall that they did 2 days ago, they said that they're hoping for Monday. So I would imagine most likely Monday we're going to get our first look or first version of the event schedule.
But the app itself has a lot of information.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff in the app.
I would say that one of the big things that's really handy for first timers, honestly, it's the maps. There's maps of the hotels. There's maps of how to get to the areas. There's maps of the America's Mart and each floor. Yeah, it's like Valencia's saying, I'm looking forward to the app being usable so I can get my con schedule together. Exactly.
Yes.
The app kind of becomes your guidebook to the world of Dragon Con. Like I said, there's maps. There's this, what we call the schedule, which basically
I can show the app if it'll show up on screen. I don't know. It doesn't look so great.
So bright. The filter, you can filter your schedules by tracks, which we can get into. That's pretty good. There you go. That looks good. Yeah. You can filter it by tracks, which we'll get into. You can filter it by your interests, by people who you might have heard are going to be on a panel. You might have been like, oh, I found out that Anson Mount's going to be here. What panels is he on? You can search just by Anson Mount and find out anything that he might be doing at the convention. You can do quite a lot. It literally is the best guide for you to get around and attend the things that you want to attend. It also goes over parties and events that are going on within the con, the gaming schedule, games that happened at America's Mart Building 3. It's I mean, I'm not a big Bible person, but it's basically your Bible for the weekend.
I'm like, where are you going with that?
It's like, think of the most important book of your life that's in your world. It's that book.
It's that app. That's what it does.
This is basically what it is for you for the weekend.
I would say most of the time, there's a lot of icons when you open up the app. And yeah, I use the events. Obviously, the events is the big one. It's the event schedule. And you can go through it and star every panel. At least the way I do it.
Anything you're interested in?
I start to scroll through it. And I usually do it by track. We haven't even gotten into panel tracks yet, but I'll do it by panel track, and just to kind of help narrow it down. And I'll go through any of the panel tracks that I would have any interest in, checking out, and I'll star anything that even just sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And sure, when I'm all done, when I look at my final schedule, there's no doubt I will have certain times of day where there's 4 or 5 panels all at the same time that I've starred.
Right. And you just pick the one that
and
you want to
then
go to.
I just kind of wait to see how I feel in that given moment.
Yeah.
If, an hour or two before I suddenly have 4 panels to choose from, I go, you know what? I think I'll go to this one, or I won't go to one at all. But that's how I do it. Another fun thing about the app, and if you mentioned this already, I apologize, but you can friend people within the app.
Yeah. I only have one friend right now, and it's you.
So there's a way to you make a profile in the app, and you can add each other as friends and
share schedules.
The key is because I think a lot of people, I've seen already people on some of the Facebook groups asking, in the Newbies group, I think it was what's the point of making friends in the app, and why do you even do it? What do you do with that? And the really big thing with doing that is sharing your schedule.
Yeah.
So, but you do have to select that person after you've friended each other and click on share schedule or show schedule, I think is what it says. And then once you do that, then they can see anything that you star And vice versa. If they share their schedule with you, you can see everything that they've starred. And then, if you want to know, like, hey, what do we have there? Or maybe we're going to some panels together, or I know you're busy at this time, so I won't bug you,
Or they could be that they have something starred that you've been like, oh, I didn't even know that existed. That's fascinating. Well, I want to go to that too.
Totally.
And it could pique your interest. So yeah, the app it's the handiest tool you'll have the whole convention, honestly. It gives you all the information. It's really kind of all there.
It gives you all the things.
Well, I guess we'll quickly go over tracks.
Yeah, so let's go back to what makes DragonCon different, huh? And this is something else that I was not familiar with before I came to DragonCon. And maybe, again, if there's anybody out there watching, listening, and that you can point out other conventions that do this, I'd love to know. Yeah. I'm assuming there must be some other convention that does this kind of thing, but I'd never seen it before. And that is the panels. There's, one, DragonCon is kind of a volunteer-run, fan-run convention. I mean, sure, DragonCon is a business. There are paid employees at DragonCon, but I don't know how many people work for DragonCon. I don't think it's a lot. But for the most part, the convention is run by volunteers. And with that said, there's also these kind of fan-run panel tracks. We mentioned earlier, we both volunteered with the digital media track. And really everybody we know that we worked with on that track, we were all just volunteers, volunteering our time for the track. So when you go into the schedule, once it shows up, you can kind of look through the schedule by track if you so wish. And I forget how many tracks there are.
There's a lot, but
it's like 30 something tracks, or I for some reason I have like 32 in my head. I do not know if that is accurate.
Think of a track as like an interest, a specialized interest,
a like-minded kind of.
Correct.
Yeah.
So say you're a big book kid. You love books. You're all about the books, right? There's a book track, and then they follow books, authors of all kinds of different genres of fantasy or sci-fi or horror or something like that. But you can follow just the books. Or say you're a Trekkie, right? You can follow the Trek track, and you can literally see all of the panels that will be happening that are put on and hosted by the Trek track. And that goes, I mean, there's so many things. There's anime, there's science fiction, there's the list is very long. And there's quite a lot of options out there. So if you are a fan of things, anything, you can probably find a track that is one of your interests.
Right.
Most likely it will happen.
By the way, like I just counted, holy shit, I was right. If this is accurate, there are 32 tracks.
Wow, good job, David.
Look at me.
Look at you. Wow.
But yeah, there's a lot of tracks.
Yeah.
There's Star Wars track. There's Brit track. There's Trek track. Apocalypse Rising. I mean, I'm not going to name them all.
Right.
I would just suggest you, hey, check out this website. Check out dragoncon.org, the official site. And under things to do, there's tracks. And
there's a lot.
There you go. There's a bunch. So anyway.
High fantasy, writer's track, video gaming, young adult literature, urban fantasy. Space is a cool one.
Yeah. I've done some space track. I've done some science track.
Space is cool. Like if people from NASA that come teach you cool stuff.
Yeah.
It's neat.
You're all giddy.
I'm excited. We're a week and a half away.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's in those tracks, by the way, the tracks are assigned to different spaces within the different hotels. So like digital media track, we're going to keep using them as an example because we volunteered with them.
We know and love them well.
Are located in a room downstairs in the Hilton. And if you go to a digital media track panel, almost certainly it's down in that one of those same rooms. Digital media, for example, has 2 rooms.
Yeah.
Not every track has 2 rooms, but some do. Unless it is a bigger digital media track panel, sometimes they will get, or I'm sure this happens with all the tracks. They'll get one of the bigger rooms that is like a shared room for various
it's
panels.
like a section of a ballroom
Right,
upstairs,
or something like that.
and so it's a larger room, yeah. But it's like downstairs at the Hilton, we know track is literally across from the digital media track,
Right.
and then there's also the Brit track is next door to the digital media track, and
Right.
so we kind of know where some of them are in the Hilton just because they're our neighbors. But then there's, I think is it science or space? It's also at the Hilton as well.
I know not downstairs with us at Digital Media. There's, I think, one or both of them are in the Hilton, but up near the Sky Bridge.
Yes.
Like in one of those rooms up there.
Right. Or the spaces, yeah.
Well, like last time, I used to go to I've been to Star Wars track, and I think they're in the Marriott. All the tracks are spread out across the 5 host hotels. And once you find out where that track is, that's where the track is the whole weekend.
Yeah.
You don't have to
jump around.
Worry that, hey, this Star Wars panel is going to be over here at the Westin, and then this one is going to be at the Hilton. That's not going to happen.
Unless it's like a major
panel.
Like say it is all of the guests for Strange New World on the Star Trek, right?
Right.
They are going to be in a large ballroom.
Right. Yeah, they're not going to be in the track room.
They're not going to be in the smaller rooms. They're going to be in a larger ballroom. So if it's a major event, it's most likely will be in a different location. But if it's just a basic session,
right,
it's going to be there. Quick tip. If you are coming and you have kids, there is a kids track, and it is a focus from 7 to 12 years old. It's family-friendly programming. They have so many activities, and they have so many things that you can do with your kids, or the kids can do without you if they don't want you around. Like that. So don't think that it's just for adults. Dragon Con literally is for everybody. So there are kids and families and anyone can enjoy this convention. It really is. It's really kind of neat. And another fun fact is that Dragon Con is family friendly during the days until 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, I think, has been the kind of either official or unofficial, things get a little more adult. I think officially there used to be I forget what they called it. It was like Dragon Con, something at night, or I don't know. I think for the most part, those kind of panels they don't really do that anymore. But
right, but I would say Dragon Con is a good safe space for young kids until late night, and then things do become a little more adult centric. That's also reflected even in the cosplay you might see just walking around the hotels. So
right,
just keep that in mind. But overall, the convention is available for anyone to enjoy.
Totally.
Of all ages.
And then there's also, you'll see when you can see the event schedule in the app, a kind of track, if you will, called main programming. And I can't confirm it because we don't have the current schedule. But main programming, I think, is mostly the really big ballroom panels.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if the various parties show up in the track schedule or if they show up in the main programming schedule. That I can't remember.
I feel like it does both.
It might.
But when it drops on Monday, it's going to prove me wrong.
Right.
So
I feel like no matter what I say, I'll be proven wrong. When
we always do this show literally a few days before it updates. I don't know why we don't just wait till the day it drops.
I mean, we could have. We can do this again.
We need to start waiting till it drops. Anyways. And those are fun because those are, usually those are where the famous people are. I say famous people. That's where people you see on TV and in movies. And they have panels. It's pretty cool to go to some of the main track stuff too, for sure. I would recommend if you could fit in at least one of those during your con. It's worthwhile for sure.
And if you're curious, you want to be up to date on what the big guests are for the convention every year, and this year included, I mean, if you're an Instagram user like we are, I would argue that the best solution for that is to follow the official Dragon Con Instagram account. And you could go there right now if you've never even followed them before and just scroll through and look at all the posts they've done for basically any guest announcement. And
I'm going to show my phone off here in a second.
all right.
Because it's pretty impressive when you see how many people that Dragon Con, like.
If you're like me, you can lower that screen brightness and it'll help. You got to cover your face so it'll focus on your phone.
Oh, yeah, I guess I have to cover my face. Cover my face.
Well, now we see your control settings.
Now you just see my control settings. I work on the internet all the time. Can't you tell?
You got this.
I got this. Anyways, let me cover my face. But if you scroll, you can see there's all the people that are going to show up, and they're going to wind up doing a panel at some point in time during the convention. But they make announcements for all these people, and it's one of the best ways to know famous people are showing up to the convention. My phone, I need to clean my phone apparently, but it's pretty cool. So yeah, you can see famous people on panels. They even have something that's really cool called the Walk of Fame. And it's downstairs at the Marriott Hotel.
Yeah, unless it's moved for some reason this year, but I'm assuming it's in the same place.
Unless they've moved it, you can go and you can do like very short meet and greets with some people. They'll set up tables and they wind up at different days, different times. And you can go and you can literally meet some of your favorite actors and actresses down there at the Walk of Fame. And you can shake hands with them, take pictures with them, or get an autograph. It's pretty cool.
Right.
Actually, it's pretty neat.
Or if we're, talking about celebrities, there's also, there's Walk of Fame, like you just mentioned. Every celebrity has like their own table, walk up, get an autograph. Maybe you can pay for a selfie and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But there are like professional celebrity photos you can do, professional celebrity photo ops. And if you go to the Dragon Con website under things to do, go down here to photo ops, it'll take you to this page. And then right here, the photo ops are operated by Epic Photo Ops. I've seen them in MegaCon as well. I think they operate the photo ops at MegaCon. And if I click on it, it'll take me, well, I have to pick Dragon Con. Maybe it'll show me who's available.
Valencia is excited for the Bones cast.
Yeah. I'm excited, even though I'm not caught up on the show. I'm still excited for the Evil cast. I'm like trying to binge.
Yeah, that's right.
I've been trying to binge watch Evil. But yeah, anyway, here's all the various celebrity photo ops for this year. Like, you want a photo with Christopher Lloyd? Just pick Christopher Lloyd and pick a time and see how much it costs. And I didn't know Claudia Wells was going to be here.
Oh yeah, they're doing a whole Back to the Future. There's a Back to the Future panel, remember?
I forgot.
Which is one of the reasons Christopher Lloyd's going to be there.
Yeah.
No, there's a Back to the Future panel.
That's crazy. Anyway. Hey, there's a lot of people I forgot about. Emily Bett Rickards is going to be here. There was a time I remember going, you know what, if she ever comes, I'm going to get a photo with her. And yeah, I probably won't do that this year.
Oh, with Emily Bett?
Yeah. John Boyega. Yeah, a lot of people. And then a lot of times, like for instance, I'll go back to the Evil cast. Like you've got, I always forget is that Katya, how you say her name from Evil? And you've got Mike Coulter. A lot of times, if you've got various cast members from one show, there's also the option you'll pay more, but then an option to do like a group photo, like where the whole cast will do photos.
Yeah.
Like even if I click on Mike Coulter, it might even, there's a team up Evil. Mm-hmm. And on Saturday and Sunday, I could pay a good $276 to get a group photo.
A group photo with the team
with 4 people, which would be cool. That's a lot of money. I'm probably not going to do that.
That's a lot of money. To me, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do that. But anyway.
But this is an option for how you can spend your time. This is just one of the many things that you can do as an attendee at Dragon Con. Is you can go to panels. You can just walk the Walk of Fame. You can go get photos with famous people. Like, these are some of the things that are going to be available to you during your time there. This is just a few of the things. We obviously can't get too in depth on all of this stuff, but we're just trying to touch base on some of the things so that you as a newbie can go, well, what am I going to do all day? Well, there's more things to do at Dragon Con than you're going to have time to do it in.
Right.
It's really the biggest problem is figuring out how to divvy up your time. So yeah, it's a lot. And I hope that we're not inundating people with all this information, but Dragon Con is a lot, but it's great at the same time. So I hope we don't feel overwhelming at any point.
Oh no, we totally are. I meant to mention too at the beginning of this, for the future YouTube audience, I'm going to do my best to divvy or split this up into chapters. So down in the details of the video, I'll have everything split hopefully into chapters.
Very thoughtful.
You can jump around. We'll see how good of a job I do at that, considering we're kind of just hopping around from subject to subject. But I'll do my best.
You're gonna do great. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Gonna be super organized. Totally.
It's gonna be great.
And I'm trying to finish my cosplay before we get to Dragon Con. I can do all this. We haven't
even talked about cosplay yet. But.
No, we haven't. We haven't even finished really talking about hotels, and we already talked about hotels.
Well, I think hotels always just kind of comes up naturally because we're constantly talking about hotels.
I'm very curious about staying at the Westin this year. I
am too.
I should say I have stayed at I have stayed at that Westin hotel, but not for Dragon Con. I stayed there one night randomly for a different event. But it's a nice hotel, but I'm curious to know what the elevator situation is like. Like I said, we have mostly stayed at the Marriott. I know I have.
Yeah.
Easily that is where I stayed at the most. And the Marriott hotels, like I'm sure the Marriott elevators, I'm sure the elevators at all the hotels are a thing. I remember they were a thing at the Hilton.
They're always a thing.
But
the Hyatt too, they're a thing everywhere.
But they're manageable. You just have to know how to deal with it. And you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it so much. You got to go down to go up, or you got to go up to go down. And it's kind of true. And I'm going to bring this up too, because maybe I'll get some hate for this. But
oh boy. Certainly.
Because I know there's the argument to be made. I know some people like to make the argument like, don't kind of push that narrative of you got to go down to go up. Like, no, like that's the problem, because everybody does that. Then that's why it makes the elevators worse, because people are doing that. True. And I feel you. If you were in that camp of like, no, like you really should just wait for an elevator that's going up and then go up. That's a beautiful thing if everybody was doing that. But the fact is, nobody's doing that. And as much as, hey, we have an audience here and we can do our best to get the word out on like, let's all play by the rules of the elevators, it's not going to happen. And unfortunately, you're going to have to go down to go up. You're going to have to go up to go down. It's just the sad state of affairs. And it's not that big a deal in my opinion, but
it's not. I think what it really comes down to, and it's the biggest tip I could give to going to any convention, but especially Dragon Con, honest to goodness, have some patience. This is going to be your biggest thing, is to just be patient. There's a lot of people attending this convention. There's going to be a lot of people vying for the elevators to go up and down and all. You just have to be patient. And if you got to go down and go up, you could be going down for a little bit before you go up. But eventually you will get there. It will happen. It's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately.
I didn't experience it myself because I haven't needed to use the Hilton elevators since I stayed in the Hilton. But it's my understanding, I think last year was the first year, right, that the Hilton had people manning the elevators.
They did, and that worked a little bit.
I have no firsthand experience with it because I did not use them. So if anybody out there did use them and have any thoughts on how that operated for the Hilton, because I felt like I heard more positive than I heard negative.
Yes.
So And if indeed that worked out well, that would be a beautiful thing if all the hotels could do that. But look at the Marriott. How many elevators are in the Marriott? Like, you know how many people you would have to have just operating elevators? That
Right. But
that would be it. I don't see that happening in the Marriott.
I think the upside to the Marriott hotel is that their elevators are their elevators are banked into certain groupings of numbers of floors that they will hit. And I think that does alleviate a lot of the stress on those elevators. Not to say that they don't get packed. You will walk into an elevator and it will be packed. It will happen. If you are a person that is not good with that, I wish the best for you. There will be times you'll walk in and it'll be just you by yourself in an elevator and it's magical. But there's going to be, especially on the busier evenings, Friday evening, Saturday evening, Sunday evening, the elevators are very busy. And the likelihood of you being in an elevator where there's only maybe like 6 or 7 of you in there is pretty low. It definitely happens. But if you're holding out for an empty elevator on those evenings, you're going to be waiting a very long time, unfortunately.
Right.
So I would say if you're a person that, if you're kind of claustrophobic, whatever tools you have in your bank to keep you calm, you are going to be using them. But the Marriott has the benefit that their elevators have certain banks of floors that they hit. So it kind of alleviates that. And to an extent, the Hilton kind of has that, but I don't think the Hyatt does. And the Hyatts can be a thing. That is for sure. I think those are the sloppiest elevator stories I've heard are the Hyatts.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of Hyatt elevator experience because every time anything I've needed to go to at the Hyatt, like the Con Suite, which is something else we haven't gotten to yet.
I was just about to start talking about that.
Just go up the stairs and it's one floor. I really haven't used elevators at the Hyatt much. Same thing. We've stayed at what was the Sheraton and now the Cortland Grand, but we stayed in a poolside room. Which was like on lobby level.
Basically.
So I think I used the elevators there once or something. But anyway, same thing. I never had issues with the elevators there. But going back to the Marriott, it's, you just learn patience. It's actually not that bad. But
it's really not that bad.
It does go into a subject of, and hey, we're streaming this, recording this a week and a half out from DragonCon 2025. But you might be watching this in the future.
Yeah.
And if you are, basically almost all of what we're discussing is probably going to apply, depending on how far off in the future you're watching this.
Right.
I mean, from year to year, DragonCon doesn't make drastic changes, but who knows what will change in the future. Anyway, my point being, if you are watching this soon, like right after we release this, you probably already have your hotel plan. So this won't really apply for this year because you probably already know if you're checking out on Monday or Tuesday. But for the future, for the most part, back when I first started coming to DragonCon, I always checked out on Monday with everybody else. And Monday is an official con day. But for the most part, I don't know what percentage. You'd probably say 90% of attendees leave on Monday.
I'd argue a good 70%.
I would go higher than 70, but most people leave DragonCon on Monday.
Monday morning, not even like Monday morning.
Yeah, they're probably
specifically
not even attending events on Monday.
Yeah.
And I say that like there are panels on Monday. Obviously, Monday is an official DragonCon day, the Labor Day, but Monday you'll see is mostly people checking out of their hotels and getting out of town.
It is a mass exodus.
Right.
Monday morning.
So we have definitely these past couple of years or more have, when we can, taken the extra day off and we check it on Tuesday. Mostly to avoid the mass exodus situation that is the Monday hotel checkout. Especially when we've stayed at hotels like the Marriott. Like when we stayed at the Ritz, checking out on Monday, not a problem at all.
Oh, it's a breeze.
It's no problem.
And even at the Cortland, it was really not that bad.
Not a problem because, I mean, like I said, we didn't even have to like use an elevator. It was nothing.
And maybe that kind of spoiled us there. I don't know.
Right. But if we're staying at a hotel like the Marriott, we're staying at the Westin this year and we're checking out on Tuesday because One, I just don't want it to end. And I'm like, I'm going to stay till Tuesday. And
Con is forever.
there are events going on Tuesday or Monday. And the vendor hall is a good place to visit on Monday because
Vendor hall's the best on Mondays.
it's way more chill. And while everybody is checking out of their hotels and kind of freaking out about elevators, I'm just like, whatever. Like
We usually wind up going out for a nice breakfast at one of the hotels, and we sit down and we eat our breakfast and have our coffee, and we watch
the craziness.
The craziness unfold in front of us, and we just eat our omelets and have our coffee and go, oh, look at that.
But and I recognize that that's if you can. I mean, that's
if you can.
One, that's another night at a hotel. They are not cheap.
They're not cheap.
That's another day off from work, most likely, which is what we're doing. We're taking another day off work. So obviously, if you can do it, I highly recommend it. If you can't, can you have a great experience and check out on Monday? Absolutely. Now, do I have tips? I do.
Oh, we got tips.
One, or I've done it a couple different ways. Like I've been in the Marriott and checked out on Monday, and I remember there were a couple years I actually did park at the Marriott. We'll get to parking too. We haven't even touched on parking.
A whole nother conversation.
But I did actually pay the ridiculous price to park my car at the Marriott. And I remember those couple years, on Sunday night, actually after I went to whatever party I went to, that was back when the Mechanical Masquerade was the thing. And after the Mechanical Masquerade, I would come back to my room, and not everything, but a lot of the stuff I would go ahead and take it down to the car and get it loaded into the car Sunday night.
Have the valet pull the car out, load it, and have
then
them
just give the car right back to them and go, okay, you can have the car back, go park it.
Guys.
That way on Monday, I don't have as much stuff to bring down in the elevators because
you have like a backpack.
Yeah, because it's just crazy. And the other option is if I were going to do it now, I would just personally, I'm a morning person. I don't have a problem getting up early. So I would just get up early Monday morning and just beat the rush and get my stuff down to my car. Even if I plan on hanging out at the con for the day, I would just go ahead, get the stuff out of my room, get it down to my car, and then go to the vendor hall or go get breakfast and then just be out of my room, but go enjoy the con for the day and then leave town. If, in our case, we don't live in Atlanta, but then leave town later whenever I feel like leaving town.
And when we say early, we mean early. I will say the peak time for checkout at least I would say the Marriott, Hilton, and Hyatt is 9 a.m. until about 1 p.m. Those hours are very busy for the elevators. And the reason why this information is important is because this isn't a hotel that's only like, say, 5 or 6 stories tall. The Marriott is, I'm sorry, how many floors is it, the Marriott? 120?
No, it's not that many. But it's a lot.
300?
See, now I got to look.
But like the Marriott's the tallest one for sure, but the Hyatt and the Hilton are also very tall. You're not lugging your luggage and your stuff. You're not going up and down the stairwells. You're not doing that. I mean, unless maybe you were on a lower floor level, you might be like, hey, I'm under 10, and then you're cool with taking the stairwells. And honestly, that's a great tip, is if you're low enough, take the stairwells. But most of the hotels you are going to be reliant upon with the elevators. And from 9 a.m. until about 1 p.m., and I am not joking, those elevators are in peak usage, and it is very challenging to get all of your things onto an elevator one time, let alone multiple times. So I would recommend either do it the night before, very early that morning, or embrace the fact that you're not going to leave your hotel until 1 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon. It is very busy during those morning hours. Right. Very, 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 very busy. And again, patience is going to be the key to all of this.
It's 47 story.
47 story.
Or, 100 and whatever you say.
120. Hey, 47 stories is a tall hotel. Okay. Let's be real.
So
it's a majorly high hotel.
Valencia mentioned I was on the Hilton I was at the Hilton back in 2021. I was on the 17th floor. I remember the 1 or 2 times I stayed at the Hilton, getting out at the Hilton too was also kind of a mess. Because there's not a lot of elevators at the Hilton. I don't think there's as many floors, but there's not a lot of elevators to choose from. It was a mess too. I don't remember what floor I was on, but I remember not having a great time there.
And it's the same with the Hyatt. There's not as many elevators. It is busy, and most of the convention is checking out. So the tips would be, if you're checking out on Monday, get your stuff in your vehicle the night before, or get up really early in the morning and get out. Otherwise, embrace it, hang out for the day, and then get your stuff out later in the day, because it's just it will cause you a lot of stress, undue stress that you might not really even want. No. And so yeah, but also everybody's got to do what they got to do. That's what you got to do. Embrace it, and go with the flow.
You might be listening to us and going, well, what about just getting a bellman? And you could totally do that. I know, obviously, bellmen are taking carts down for checkout.
I've seen them do that.
I've seen them do that. Unfortunately, in my experiences with the Marriott. At the Marriott, I've never had luck getting a bellman, and that may just be because I waited too late to try to get one. If anybody has tips on when you need to call the front desk to secure your bellman for checkout, maybe you need to secure that at check-in. I don't know. And I'd love to hear your tips. I just have never done it. Because clearly the bellmen have their own elevators that they use, which is that if you can get a bellman, that's the way to go.
I would say if
we've also in previous years, and the Marriott now charges more for this. You can at check-in or whenever, I think, request a lower floor, but I forget at what floor and below there's like a premium you're going to pay to get like a room,
like 7 and below
or 10 and below. I don't know.
10 and below.
10 isn't, there's no rooms on 10.
There's no rooms on 10.
That's the room, that floor that we haven't even got to that, but
we haven't gotten that yet, but
anyway, we have, I think one year we stayed on, what was it? Like floor 2 or 4?
Which basically is like the second of the
I think it was lower
rooms.
Than 4. I thought it was like,
it was 4.
But it was low. Like,
was very low.
And we just used the stairs almost all the time. It was fantastic.
I don't think I touched an elevator that year.
It was great.
I mean, honestly.
Now, the trade-off is you are much closer to the noise. So if you're the kind of person that hates or wants, you need real quiet and you go to bed earlier than when the party kind of stops, you may not like the
You're going to
want
a higher floor.
It doesn't really bother me. So I was fine with being that low, but that's also an option. But you're going to pay more for that, at least at the Marriott you are.
But you get the stairwells, and I'll tell you, sometimes climbing up and down just a few flights of stairs just isn't
not a big deal.
If you are capable of doing so, I acknowledge not every human being is capable of doing that.
If you are able.
If you are an able-bodied person that can do that, then it works out really well. If you can't, then you might as well stay on the 46 and enjoy the views. Right. But no, I think if you're lucky enough to get a bellman, dude, that's awesome. Congratulations. The Hunger Games were in your favor.
Right.
But
yeah, I just don't have an experience getting a bellman for checkout.
I would not bank on it, is what I'm going to tell everyone. Do not bank or hedge any of your bets on getting a bellman to help you with checkout.
Right.
It's a delightful thing if that happens for you, and you should consider yourself extremely lucky. But most of the time, you will be responsible for doing your checkout.
Pretty much.
Be prepared for that. Golly gee.
We've touched so much, and there's still so much to go. And how long have we been going? We've gone an hour and 20 minutes.
For over an hour. I know we have. There's so many things.
This is great.
I know. There's so much about Dragon Con. Okay, so real quick, you have pros and cons of staying. So let's hit pros and cons of staying at the host hotels real fast.
The pros for me are you are in the middle of everything at all times, and given the atmosphere of Dragon Con, and everyone does Dragon Con differently. There are people that I'm sure go to Dragon Con and they just go to panels on one track the whole weekend, and that's their Dragon Con, and that's great. And then there's other people that hop around to different panel tracks. And there's some people that don't do mini panels at all. They just really enjoy the nightlife kind of party atmosphere of Dragon Con. And no matter how you attend Dragon Con, if you are someone that does want to be in the middle of kind of all the fun at all times, staying in a host hotel is a no-brainer if you can get a room. That is the big kind of hurdle with Dragon Con. It's not getting a badge. Like I'll compare it to San Diego Comic-Con.
Right.
San Diego Comic-Con, it's hard to get a badge. Just getting a badge to the convention is the difficult part. Now, once you get a badge, now finding a room down in San Diego is also difficult, but there's places you can find to stay. Dragon Con is different. It's getting a hotel room is a thing, and or at least a host hotel room. Now, can you have a good time and not staying in a host hotel room? Absolutely, but
there's even hotels that are like partners of Dragon Con, and they're friendship hotels. Basically, they're not necessarily a host hotel of Dragon Con, but they're hotels that still embrace the Dragon Con. They have their own special Dragon Con rates, and they embrace the people that are attending the convention.
Like when you go to the website here, you'll have your host hotels, the 5 that we've talked about. And then they just list them as Atlanta hotels. And
they're like I want to say they're kind of a partnership. Like one time we spent like I want to say like it was a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night at
the courtyard.
A courtyard that's very close to downtown. And it was nice. And they had like fun decorations up. Like they were ready. They were like, all right, let's go conventioners. Let's go con guys. Like they were embracing everybody that was checking in and hanging out.
Especially because some of these are closer than others.
Yeah.
Like the courtyard was very close. We've talked about the Ritz. We've stayed at the Ritz before. Hopefully I'll stay at the Ritz again. They're right in the middle of everything.
And it's not a host hotel.
They're not a host hotel, but they definitely embrace the con. Another one that is really in the middle of everything is the Hotel Indigo.
Yes, that one is,
Hotel Indigo is very much in the middle of everything. I've never stayed there.
That's the one that's kind of by the America's Mart, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's attached to part of the America's Mart.
Yeah. So yeah, you're like right there for shopping. If you're a shopper, that's the one to stay at.
It's not attached to the same like vendor hall building, but it's attached to the America's Mart. It's very close to everything.
So if you're the shopping person, you want to stay close to the shopping.
There's definitely others on this list that are farther, like the Omni I've toyed with, but the Omni is
a little further.
Far enough that I didn't really want to stay there.
Well, like the Ritz is really right smack. Like I said, it's literally between the Westin and the Cortland Grand. It's literally right smack in the between them.
So
and it's a great hotel.
For me, staying at the host hotel, like Valencia mentioned, also the easiest way to go take a nap is if you have a host hotel, if you need one.
That is a nice perk.
It's so easy at any time to go and take a break. Yeah. You know, especially if you're a cosplayer. If you're gonna,
oh my gosh, yeah.
If you're gonna cosplay, maybe you just only want to cosplay part of the day. It's so easy to just hop right back up to your hotel room. You change. You want to go eat your lunch or your dinner in your room. You don't have to like Uber back to your room depending on how far away it is.
Find a pocket somewhere to go, kind of to hang out that's air conditioned.
Other than fighting elevators to get up to your room, it's just so convenient.
It is.
Staying at a host hotel room. Unless you're one, and it's totally understandable, if you were somebody that needs to get away from all the craziness,
right? I
totally understand. But I say that, and I mean, we're staying at the Westin this year, and I have a feeling
it's gonna be
being being up in our room at the Westin isn't like being up in your room at the Marriott. You know,
right?
You've seen these shots of how the Marriott looks, and you know, I'm gonna pull this up here once I get it pulled up here. You know, it's one big open space
for the Marriott.
So when you're staying at the Marriott, even when you're way up there at the top, you can still kind of hear the drone of the convention going on down below you. The hum versus some of the other hotels, like again the Westin. When we're up in the Westin Tower,
we're not going to hear anything.
We're not going to hear jack shit there. So
yeah, if you don't want to be right smack in the middle of everything 24/7, you could easily go to a non-host hotel and still feel the vibes of the con, but not the constant hum of the con at all times, if that makes any sense.
Other benefits is, and this is a big one, is Dragon Con TV.
Dragon Con TV.
Dragon Con TV was something else I was not familiar with when I first came to Dragon Con. I've never been to a convention that has something like this, where there's Dragon Con TV is an official Dragon Con thing. You know, you've been to hotels where they have like convention channels.
Right.
You know, any hotel that has convention space, they'll have a couple like channels in their guide that are like convention channels. And whenever they have a convention come in, sometimes the convention will use those channels for giving out information.
Maybe they'll have information, or maybe they'll stream the one major main speaker. They might stream it so that way, you know, you can watch it from your room if you didn't make it down there or something.
So Dragon Con is no different, and Dragon Con uses those channels at the hotels, and one of them, they actually use 2 channels. One of them
three, technically.
Is it 3?
Well, there's
just the 2.
There's the main, there's retro, and then there's
DC TV Land. That's the retro one you're talking about.
That's the retro one, yeah. I think there's 3.
I think it's just the 2, but I could be wrong.
No, I think it's 3, but okay.
All right. I'll bet you. Anyway,
we'll find out in a week and a half.
Dragon Con TV is on the whole time the convention is going on. And they have these kind of fun, like fan-made, like bumpers and like kind of these kind of fun, like parody kind of commercials that play. But then they also...
Similar to like Adult Swim.
Kind of like
when Adult Swim has like little like fake Adult Swim commercials between the shows.
Right.
The best thing I can compare it to. Sorry.
And then
Saturday Night Live kind of has that kind of thing too, where they have like little fake little blip things. Sorry.
But then they also will show a lot of the bigger panels on Dragon Con TV. So
especially the main tracks.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, the main programming stuff. Most of the main programming stuff will show up on Dragon Con TV, if not live when it's happening, but maybe or pre-recorded or both. Mm-hmm. So for us. I'm definitely the kind of person when I stay in a host hotel, Dragon Con TV is really the only thing I watch. I just have it on in the background as like atmosphere. And
right.
I really disconnect from the outside world, and I do not I've stayed with roommates in the past where they'll be like, oh, I'm going to put on the Weather Channel or put on the news. And I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to watch. Like, this is my weekend. This is my 4 to 5 day period when I just disconnect from the terrible world we're living in right now, and I really just want to watch Dragon Con TV, even if I get that it's the same stuff that sometimes airs over and over, and I get it, but I don't know, I like it.
It's great. It's like a comfort watch at this point now,
right.
And I mean, you know, I will say it's funny. I feel like it always seems to line up with Dragon Con, but the Sci-Fi Channel always seems to have Harry Potter marathons. So at some point, we do eventually wind up going to the Sci-Fi Channel to watch Harry Potter movies.
Well, in particular, like going back to the Ritz, we stayed at the Ritz. It's not a host hotel, so it does not have Dragon Con TV. And I remember, the first year I think we stayed at the Ritz, we ended up watching a lot of sci-fi and watching a lot of Harry Potter that weekend, which was great.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting a Dragon Con TV like streaming subscription,
which is amazing,
which is great. And I just had like Dragon Con TV up on like my iPad or my laptop, and I would just have Dragon Con TV on that because I couldn't get it on the TV. But yeah, so speaking of that, Dragon Con TV is great. And
it's the best.
You can it's only $10 like for the entire year
for 365 days of Dragon Con content, and you can live stream the stuff that's happening during the convention for 10. There is no there are no other streaming apps in the entire internet world. You can stream for $10 for an entire year of content.
Yeah, my 2024 streaming membership, I think, is still active until like August 24th or something like that. So I can still log in
while we're at the convention.
I can still log into my 2024 account right now if I wanted to and watch like a ton of content from previous Dragon Cons. You can also watch like basically the kind of like full-length stream of each particular day of like say last year. I want to watch Saturday, and it'll just show me the full stream of Saturday. So yeah, it's great. I highly recommend, if you're not even going to Dragon Con and you're watching this and you're like, but I kind of want to experience this through Dragon Con TV, just go to dragoncon.tv.
It's the best $10 you'll spend all August.
Pay $10.
I can almost guarantee that.
And you can watch a bunch of Dragon Con content. That's great. But that's one of the, going back to pros of staying in a host hotel, that's a pro of staying in a host hotel.
It's just on the TVs.
Is that it's just on the TVs and you can watch it the whole time you're there. Any cons you can think of for staying in a host hotel?
I think cons would be, because there's just so many people, the elevators are touchy. If you're noise sensitive, I think the noise levels, especially, I don't think it's so much at the Hyatt and the Hilton as much, but the Marriott has a nice buzz happening well to 2 a.m. to even 4 a.m. It definitely minimizes between 2 to 4 a.m. But there is still a good group of people out and about having a good time. And I would say it definitely by 4 a.m. it gets quiet. But then that hum starts back up around 10 a.m., I would say, at the Marriott, and you start hearing people are doing things. I mean, there's a constant hum buzz of noise at the Marriott.
Yeah,
pretty much the whole time.
If you're staying at the Marriott and you're hearing this and you're like, "Oh my God, I'm staying at the Marriott and I can't deal with it," just request a higher floor.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're staying high enough, it's really not that bad.
It's really not that bad. And even, I mean, but see, like that's something that doesn't bother me. That does not bother me. And even when we were staying on lower floor, it did not bother me. No. The doors are very heavy.
You get your doors shut. You are gonna, if you're lower floor, even with your door shut, you are gonna hear a hum. But in my opinion, it's not that bad. But
I know there was one night, I think it was the Saturday night, the one year, way back when, we even just took a towel and the very little bit of the crack that was at the bottom of the door, we shoved it up, and that even took even more sound off. Like, I was like, oh, well, then problem solved. You know, I mean, it's just, my point is it can be a con if you are not a noise person. If noise is your, like, it's not your thing, I could see where staying at a host hotel could be not your thing.
Right.
I would get that.
Right.
I don't know. I don't really know of any other cons to being at a host hotel. I think, noise, elevators, just because the amount of people that are constantly going to be going through the lobbies. Like, I would not, if you're staying at a host hotel and you want to make sure you have easy access to go through your lobby areas or go through the corridors without constant groups of people, the host hotels might not be your thing, because there's just going to always be people everywhere. There's a lot of people.
Another benefit too is you'll get these fun, like, hotel keys.
Oh yeah, the hotel keys are cool.
Yeah, they're fun.
They're a little collector's item.
So for the weekend of Dragon Con, usually your room keys will be like special Dragon Con room keys if you're staying in a host hotel. Yeah. And these aren't even all the ones I have. I mean, I don't know where the rest are.
And what's cool is that, like, each year, like, they're all a theme. So they might be, each hotel has a different one, but they're all kind of in the same theme, which is really kind of neat.
Yeah, I think that last year, wasn't it, where they, like, all had a very, very similar look, but they were like a different superhero or something for each one.
Yeah, but it's like almost if you, like, lined up the room, like, it's almost like you see, like, a picture in a weird way. It's almost like you're looking at a thing. It's like a,
and I don't know if this is true at every hotel, but I think it was last year again, like, where a friend of ours ended up going to, say, the Hilton. He wasn't staying at the Hilton, and just asked at the front desk, like, "Hey, do you have extras?" And they just gave him one, like a dead key.
I wouldn't hinge bets on that either,
I wouldn't bet on that happening, but I mean, you could possibly, even if you're like a collector and you really want to collect them all, like, it's possible you could try that. No promises.
I mean, from our perspective, staying at a host hotel is great if you can get it and swing the costs. Otherwise, even just staying at some of the other, like, kind of partnership hotels that are downtown Atlanta, they're great too, honestly, because we've stayed at them and we've not had issues with them either. So, yeah.
The problem is, and if you're watching this and say you're going to prepare for a future year of attendance and you're like, okay, I'm going to try to get a host hotel in the future. the problem is you have to jump on it very soon after the convention. And this is one of my biggest gripes is that, you know, right after I go to Dragon Con one year, I'm not exactly like ready to spend a bunch of money on a hotel for the next year, but you kind of have to do it fast, depending on which hotel you book, because every hotel is a little different. You know, like for instance, the Cortland Grand, I'm pretty sure they operate the same as they did when they were the Sheraton, where I mean, they're booking their rooms like while the convention is happening.
Like Labor Day Monday, they open the rooms.
I mean, there was one year, it was like Saturday or Sunday, I had the link. We were staying at the Sheraton, and because we were staying there, I got access to the link sooner. And I was like, well, if I want to go ahead and book next year, I can do it right now. Oh. The problem being is that the Sheraton asked for the entire stay, like right up front. And that's a big chunk of money, depending on how many nights you're going to stay. Now, there's other situations like the Westin. We're staying at the Westin this year, and I've now paid the full stay, but I didn't pay that until like March. When I booked it, I don't think I paid a deposit at all. Wow. I was kind of shocked. But then when March came around, I had to pay the entire stay, as I'm pretty sure how it worked. Marriott is different. The Marriott requires like a 2-night deposit, but same thing. All these hotels are booking like within weeks, like the next couple months. So usually like the Marriott is in like October. Yeah. And I think the Westin is the same. But then like the Ritz, I think the Ritz was like early. They did it like late September, I think.
The Hilton's early too.
Well, the Hilton and the Hyatt are a whole different beast because those are legacy rooms. So the Hilton and the Hyatt almost never really book because most people just, they're legacy hotel room holders. So anybody who's staying at the Hilton basically gets the right to go ahead and book the next year and so on every year. So a lot of times the Hilton and the Hyatt are very hard to get into, which is, it's easy for me to say it's frustrating because I don't have a legacy room. I'm sure if I had one, I'd be like, this is great. Yeah. But I get to take the perspective of how fair is this? Like you guys that are staying in the Hilton and the Hyatt, and I say that, and I don't think he's watching right now, but we have a good friend who has friends that have legacy rooms at the Hyatt, and that is fantastic. I'm super happy for them, and we will.
They don't have to go through the stress of.
They don't get to go through the stress of finding a room because they have a legacy room, and I'm sure if I had one, I'd be super happy. But part of me is like, man, like it's so hard to get into those hotels because of the legacy room situation. But it is what it is.
Yeah. I'm
sure if they ever opened up legacy for Marriott, I would have jumped on that super fast, but never happened. Or at least hasn't happened yet.
No. I would say there's still a few major things we want to touch on.
Oh, there's a lot more.
We kind of want to touch on parking a little bit. And
we should touch on parking.
Chips and trips there. But then we also, and I know what everybody's asking. How about food? So I know food's a big one, but I didn't know, did you want to maybe take like a little 5-minute break and then maybe come back and we could talk about food, which is the most important things? I don't know. What do you think?
Sure. We can take a break.
A little 5-minute break.
If you're watching on YouTube, this will probably be a 0-minute break, but if you're watching us on Twitch right now live, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we will touch on some more Dragon Quest stuff, and we'll just hang out. I got nothing to do. It's a Saturday night. I'll be here for another hour and a half.
We could talk Dragon Con all night, man.
This will be the longest YouTube video ever once it goes on YouTube. That's fine.
That's fine. It's Dragon Con. There's a lot.
All right. We're going to go replenish our drinks, take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Hey. I'm back. We're back. Michelle's here too.
Hi.
All right. We are back at it after a quick break, a drink replenishment. We'll move a little faster through the remaining topics. We'll try. Maybe we won't. I don't know. We've been hanging out.
Here's the thing about talking about Dragon Con is it's hard to not talk about Dragon Con and reminisce about our own prior experiences that have happened to us. And I hope we don't bore everybody with all of our little war stories and stuff, but it's we're explaining Dragon Con through our experiences and trying to share that knowledge to you. And we know everybody doesn't have the same con experience, or nobody has the same Dragon Con experience. So there's definitely information that we're not even going to get through for sure. But it's, I don't know, Dragon Con to us is fun. It's another fun event, and it's kind of a part of us in a way. And so we just like to share that and share that information, and stories kind of come with that. And it's like we're walking down memory lane and reminiscing on things too. So we wind up getting a little wordy.
Hey, it's cool. Think you mentioned it before we left, but if not, we wanted to touch on parking.
Parking. And this is obviously is only for people that are driving in. Some people fly in. You can take a MARTA from the airport.
Right. I mean, you may even,
live there.
If you live in Atlanta, you obviously know Atlanta better than we do.
Correct. From the outsiders.
This gets me ready, and I love talking to people who know what I know about. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
It's just fun talking about this.
I mean, we could talk Dragon Con for hours.
Exactly.
That's easy.
So whether you're either driving in for the day or, I guess like you said, this mostly applies for people like us who are coming in from out of town, I guess. I would imagine that if I'm just somebody who lives in Atlanta and I'm just don't live downtown, but I'm going to go into downtown for the day and I'm not staying in a hotel, I would just MARTA in. I would park at a MARTA station and take the MARTA in. That's what I would do.
That's what I would do, that or Uber or something, because by the time you pay the fees to park at the MARTA or take an Uber, it's probably the same price as if you fought your way into downtown, found a parking garage that was available, paid for that garage for the 1 day rate, and then fought your way back out of downtown. But that's me.
But for people like us who are staying at host hotels or at one of the hotels nearby, and we're going to be staying there for the weekend and we're not from the area, most likely you might just assume, or you might think, oh, and I've done it before. I mentioned this earlier. I've just parked at the hotel. But if you don't have a lot of experience with parking at hotels like this, especially in downtown kind of settings like this in any major city, it's not cheap to park at these hotels.
It's not cheap, but it's also intimidating.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know what the rates are right now. Like, I think the last time I looked at the rate at like the Marriott, it's like $45 a night to park your car at the Marriott. It's a lot, and that adds up. If you're, especially like us, I mean, we're coming up there Wednesday.
And checking out
Tuesday. That's a lot of money to park my car. $45 a night for 6 nights. Like, no thanks.
No, thank you.
And I say that, and I've done it.
We have done it.
I have done it. But there are definitely other options if you want to park your car safely and you don't want to park your car at the hotel. And each hotel is different. Like, I've stayed at the Hilton, and I think at the Hilton I had the option to self-park, but there was also valet. The Marriott is just valet. The Westin, this is my first time, but I think it's just valet, but I could be wrong.
The Ritz-Carlton is just valet. The Cortland is both. It's valet and self.
But anyway, they're all a little different. They all have different rates, but they're all expensive. We're about to say there are other options. The option and we're doing this year, and we have done it now the past couple of years, where there are just other lots in the area.
And garages, not just lots, but garages.
Garages, yeah. But other lots and garages that are in the area that have long-term, like multi-day parking that you can pay for, and you can reserve it ahead of time. That is much cheaper than staying at one of these hotels. You know, like I just said, we're doing what, 6 nights?
6 nights.
Yeah. There's a couple different apps, and there's probably more. And if you guys know about other apps, please share and let me know.
These are the main ones.
But like I've dabbled in ParkWiz and Spot Hero. Parkwiz.com, SpotHero.com. You can go to sites like that. You can look at the various garages and parking lots in the downtown area, and you can go, hey, I need a parking spot, and I'm going to arrive after 2 p.m. on Wednesday, this date, and I'm going to leave before 12 p.m. on Tuesday at this date, and it'll show you what's available. And the last couple of years we've stayed in a garage that's very close to the Marriott. And yeah, we're staying at the Westin this year, but it's still walkable. It's very walkable to this garage. And I think we're paying like $120 for the entire 6 nights.
For 6 nights. Versus it could be, so $45, 6 nights is $270.
Right.
Which we don't go on a budget, but we try to save money where we can. So you said how much is it going to be? 125?
I think this year we're paying 120.
I'm putting in 130 because I just messed it up. So we just saved $150.
Right. And it was, I mean, in my experience, knock on wood. I'm going to knock on this. I have a wood table right here. I'm knocking on wood that I've never had a bad experience. It's been very safe. Never had my car broken into.
Nope. Having said that, though, we always make sure before we leave the vehicles that we completely strip anything inside that vehicle that might even remotely look interesting to any person.
Right.
But
I've never had a problem.
We've never had a problem.
And I've always done it through, I think mostly I've used ParkWiz.
Yeah.
But I think we used Spot Hero before. But even in a cheaper option is to do MARTA Park and Ride, which we have also done.
We've also done that too.
So if you're not familiar with the MARTA like system in Atlanta, we've said MARTA a little bit. MARTA is their subway.
Yeah.
And there is a website you can go to, and somewhere in here you can look at the various like different stations that have like Park and Ride, and it's like $8 a day to park at these.
We've done that.
And yeah, I remember 1 or 2 years, we dropped off all the luggage at the hotel, and then I drove the car up to some station that wasn't that far. It's not like I drove that far away.
It was a pretty big hub too. Like there was like businesses and restaurants and things like that at that MARTA station.
Yeah.
Like it was a big thing. Like it was like
there was like an
hub.
AT&T headquarters or something nearby, or like an office building. And there was some stores and some offices and some restaurants that were located there. And I parked the car there, and then I just jumped on the MARTA and took it back downtown to the Peachtree station, and it was pretty quick. And I mean, that was uber cheap. $8 a day, that was a steal.
Yeah, $8 a day and a $3 MARTA ride.
Yeah, it was.
And it only took half an hour. Like you're killing half an hour.
Right.
And sometimes time is money.
Lindbergh, honestly, it might have been.
Lindbergh.
I can't remember.
But it was a nice station, and the parking garage was really nice. And then, yeah, like when we left, we basically, one of us just went and got the car and brought it back the day we were checking out. And it was no big thing. So if you're really looking to save some money, that we recommend doing it.
We super doable.
Super doable. It's super cheap. Again, it costs you very minimal. It's the half hour to do it.
I mean, I'll admit this year we kind of dragged our feet and we booked our parking spot pretty late. We have it now, but there was a part of me that was like, by the time we looked, I was like, oh man, they could be sold out. And if they are, I'm like, well, I'll just do MARTA Park and Ride. It's not that big a deal.
And we've done it in the past. Like, so even this year, I looked probably a month ago, and it was that same garage was actually less than what we booked it for when we booked it the other night. So the earlier you can book them, the better off you are.
Right.
So I will recommend that. But still, I would look into it. I would look at it. And there's a couple of lots, and they're not even parking garages, but lots in downtown Atlanta. Now some, because we're used to the area, we can kind of see which ones are a little, I don't know if I leave my car there or not. But there are some lots that I've definitely walked by and been like, I would totally leave my car here and feel totally safe. Like, there's one actually right by the Cortland Grand that's like fenced, and there's always a security dude there all the time. And I'm always like, I would totally park there. I'm like, I remember fine to me.
One year we parked in a garage that wasn't like as close as where we're parking like these past couple of years. It was like a few blocks south, and it was like it
was more by the college.
There was like a college. There's some college south, and I remember a couple times I would just grab a Lime scooter and just ride down there and like just check on the car.
Just check in on the car.
It was far enough that I didn't want to walk all the way there, but I was easily able to scooter down to it.
Yeah.
I'd scooter down to the car, just look at it and be like, hey, the car looks fine. I'd scooter back.
We're good.
And it was fine.
And it was by the college, and it was a safe garage too, as it turns out.
Yeah, the garage was fine, but I just didn't know. I was like, well, I'm gonna check on the car.
It was new to us.
Right.
But I would say the only caveat to doing this, and I will just, is most of the time you do not have in and out privileges when you pre-book these things.
This is true.
So just so you know, so if you are planning, if you're a person that wants to get out of the con and you're going to go do other things in Atlanta during the weekend, this might not be the best route for you. If that's your thing, if you're like that. For us, whenever we do other things in Atlanta that are not con related. Sometimes we just go to breweries or we just go to different restaurants and stuff, and we just Uber or Lyft and we just pay those. And even doing that, we're still not paying as much money as parking the car at the hotel. So we're just trying to share our experiences with you guys and our own tips and tricks, for staying in Atlanta and staying downtown Atlanta. It's not the cheapest thing to do. And we all know in this day and age and economy, we all are trying to save a buck every now and then. So if you don't think you're going to be in and out of parking garages, I would look outside of the hotel, in my opinion, and do something like this. For us, it saves a decent amount of money.
Right.
So just our recommendations, but everybody does what is good for you in your situation.
Yeah, I mean, when I say I used to park at the hotels, it's because it was those first couple years and I wasn't as familiar with my various options. And I was just like, hey, I'm just going to park here. I don't know where else to go. And it just felt safe to me. And I just did it. But the more I've gone, and not being someone who lives in Atlanta, the more I've gone, the more comfortable, I started to realize, wait, there's these other options. This is way cheaper. I'm going to do this stuff instead.
Yeah, there's some parking garages that's literally just next to the Ritz-Carlton that are very easily accessed from the other hotels. There's a parking garage. There's 2 parking garages near the Marriott. There's one that's just next to the Hilton that we, some of the people on the track that we have volunteered for, they park there. And they're like, yeah. And they don't even stay they don't stay on any of the hotels. They're Atlanta people, and they'll drive in for the day and they'll park at that garage next to the Hilton. Right. And it's only like $20-$25 a day at that garage versus the hotel at $45 or $50. Right. So it's right next. There are garages right next door to the hotels that are 40% less money. Right. So yeah, you can save some money by not parking at your hotel. But if you are super worried about that and you want to ensure the safety and you want to make sure you have that, then park at the hotel. Do what works for you and what you feel comfortable doing with your own vehicle. I mean, it's your vehicle. This is, it's the second most expensive thing you'll purchase in your life.
So you have probably, if you're new to Dragon Con, you've probably wondered, where could I eat while I'm at the convention?
This is the best part.
This is the best part?
Well, I won't say it's the best part. It's probably the most important thing you're going to learn is where to eat while you're there.
So
it is a necessity to function.
It's funny too, I have these memories, and now I guess I'm getting old enough, one, that I don't remember things as well, and I've been going long enough now that I'm like, wait, how did things work out for me this first couple years? But anyway, this is probably going to be funny to hear this, but I feel like the first year I went, I didn't even know where the food court was.
I understand that though.
Until either the end of the weekend or something. It was crazy.
I understand that. There's so much happening, and there's so many hallways and walkways, and we haven't even talked really about the walkways that much yet.
Right. But
that I could see where you easily wouldn't even know that there's an entire food court. There's even what we call now the secret food court, which we'll also talk about.
Yeah. So there's and I don't have it on this map. I didn't mark it on this map like a smart person.
You slacker.
And I don't really have a way of showing my cursor on the screen for this.
Lackadaisical.
Basically, this is north, south, east, west. That block just south of the Hyatt is where the Peachtree Center is. And that block is the Peachtree Center. There's basically a big food court right there, just south of the Hyatt. And you can get to that food court. You don't even have to go outside if you are at the Hyatt or the Marriott. The Hyatt directly connects to the Peachtree Center from like a sky bridge. You can go right over to it. But even if you're at the Marriott, there's like a diagonal sky bridge that goes like diagonally over basically to where that food court is. And that's where the majority of people are going to go and get their food throughout the convention, I would say. I would argue.
I would say the bulk of people are dining there, especially come lunchtime, lunch and dinner. That is definitely where you see the most people going to get their food from. And it's definitely the place that has, I would say, the most, I hate to say cost effective because it's not, I wouldn't say it's cheap there.
It's versus like going to table service restaurants
Correct.
in downtown Atlanta. Yeah.
It's the most cost effective and it's the most variety in a small area that you're going to get to where we're staying at.
And there's stuff in there that's quicker to get than others. Like for instance, at least, hey, I don't live in Atlanta. I don't know what's even there now. Things could have changed inside that Peachtree Center, but like the last couple of years, there was like a Firehouse Subs, right?
Yeah.
Well, Firehouse Subs also would like have this separate little satellite spot in there where they would like just have pre-made sandwiches.
Just grab and goes.
And it would just be like, pick one of these 5 sandwiches or something, and then they're just ready to go. And if you want something quick, that was a super convenient option.
And there's a couple that are buffets and they do it by weight and you just fill up a to-go carton and then they weigh it and then you just pay a flat fee and you just on your way.
Yeah. No, there's like there's a good sushi place in there.
There's a good sushi place in there, surprisingly.
There's an Irish kind of pub. Like you gotta, from the food court, you actually go down like downstairs to get to it, or you can get into it from the street. There's a lot of stuff in the Peachtree Center, and that's going to be like the primary spot, where I think most people will get their food. But there's also various food options like around the hotels, just like vendors they'll have set up like on the floor, like pizza and especially in the Marriott, there's a couple of things down there in the marquee level. Is that what it is? The bottom level?
I want to say the Marriott and the Hilton have the most options as far as like random carts that will be kind of strategically throughout. Like at the Hilton, there's Chick-fil-A they have like a whole little section.
Yeah, in the lobby.
In the lobby, and they have, other than Sunday, Chick-fil-A, you can just go and get they'll have like 3 basic chicken sandwiches. They have this basic sandwich, the deluxe sandwich, and then the spicy sandwich. And you can just grab the sandwiches and your fries and keep on to trucking. It's pretty quick and easy.
Yeah.
So those are options. But then I will say the Cortland Grand, and this is what's kind of cool. The Cortland Grand, where you pick up your badge, there are food trucks all weekend long, which are yet another really great option for food. There's quite a few different food trucks. I will say they don't really change throughout the weekend, but there's, I feel like last year there must have been 8 trucks out there. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of options.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people ask, well, where do I eat breakfast at? So each restaurant obviously has every hotel has a restaurant inside of it, right? They have a couple of restaurants. And those are good options. They're a little pricier. And some people are like, oh, I just need my Starbucks. Well, the Marriott has a Starbucks, probably the closest thing to a real, quote unquote, Starbucks. But if you're open to things that are similar to Starbucks that are not Starbucks, if you go to the food court, there is a Caribou coffee. Yep. So that's an option for you. And then one of David and I, we have one of our favorite like quick breakfast options that we always seem to enjoy at the Hilton, actually.
Which would be far away from us now.
Which is going to be very far away from us now. But the Hilton has, they have like a little like, I don't know, it's like a little quick service place that they have, and their breakfast there, they have like little containers, little to-go containers, and they've got breakfast burritos, and then they also just have like breakfast platters where they'll have like eggs and potatoes and bacon or sausage, and they'll just have them to go, and it's like $8 for that container.
Yeah,
but
I remember the price.
It's a hearty amount of food. and their coffee is good. They have Starbucks beans, but it's like, so it's not an official Starbucks, but like it's a really quick and easy and affordable grab and go. And I will say the breakfast, those little containers have saved our butts some mornings, especially when we're volunteers and we're, en route to volunteer in the morning for a 10 a.m. Track. Right. But that's one of the better breakfasts I've had is actually that Hilton's, that quick and easy to go if you don't want to deal with waiting at the Starbucks. Because I will say, everybody loves Starbucks, and it's very true during Dragon Con, and that line is Here's what I will say though about the Starbucks at the Marriott. There's a line. There's always gonna be a line there, but it moves. The people that work at that Atlanta Marriott Starbucks,
yeah, it moves pretty well.
Man, they work. Those people, they work hard. I
mean, I'm probably talking super old school. I guess that Starbucks that was like down on the street is like long gone, huh?
It's gone. The one that used to be between the Hyatt and the Marriott.
It wasn't between the Hyatt and the Marriott. It was up Peachtree from the Hyatt, but like almost like between the Hyatt and the Westin.
That one might still be.
I know it closed at some point.
There was one by the America's Mart.
That's what I'm talking about. I think that's the one I'm thinking of.
No, it was operational, I think.
I'm looking.
But it's a little further away, I think, if you're at the other 3 hotels.
Yeah, I don't think it's there anymore. The one I'm thinking of is not there anymore.
And you know what? Cortland, actually, their breakfast at the hotel, their little like quick service breakfast place, it wasn't too bad. It didn't have like, like eggs and bacon and sausage and stuff, but they had like muffins and pastries. Their coffee was actually really good. I'll give them that. The coffee was good. So their kind of like quick service breakfast there at the Cortland was good. And like I said, the one at the Hilton is, it's pretty solid.
There's like, I mean, I know we keep talking Starbucks, like Starbucks is the only option. Yeah, like this is the one here at the Marriott. There was one over here. It was like kind of attached to this part of the America's Mart.
Right.
That we don't use for Dragon Con anymore, it would appear. There is, if you want to kind of get away from things a little bit, you can walk down Peachtree and there is a Starbucks down here. I've been to this one before. It's not showing on the screen. This one down here. But it's a couple blocks away, or it's pretty close to the Westin. So
that
for us,
for Westin people, that's actually a great option.
This would be a good option. There's also like a Dunkin' down here somewhere. I used to frequent. I remember one year I went to the Dunkin' a lot.
I've seen people with the Dunkins walking around.
But yeah, that's an option.
I'm just trying to give people options. I know a lot of people rely on Starbucks. It's what most Americans go to nowadays.
I like Starbucks.
No, I'm not. I have no hate on Starbucks. I don't love, Starbucks is Starbucks. But I'm trying to say there's other options. And I mean, every person's different and their schedules are different. But like with David and I, we definitely operate on a breakfast during Dragon Con is a great way to set up your day. There's a lot of times we'll have breakfast and not really even have a lunch. We might have some snacks and then we'll have a dinner. But some people are like, nope, I have to have 3 squares a day. And some people are like, nope, just lunch and a dinner. Or some people are just like, oh, I'm just a dinner person. I don't know. Everybody's different.
Right.
But I just want people to know that there are options out there.
I know the first few years or first couple years or more, I would go. I mean, I definitely ate like 3 meals a day. I would get like a breakfast sandwich and a coffee in the morning. I would go to the food court for lunch and dinner. And I guess maybe it's just getting older, but I'm just eating less as my metabolism is slowed to a screeching halt. And I really just eat a breakfast and then one more meal. And then we will snack. We definitely have, especially when you're staying at a host hotel. Another convenient thing about staying at a host hotel, going back to that, is like being able to go up to your room and just having stuff in your room to eat. And, maybe I'll have stuff to make a sandwich for lunch if I really am hungry in the middle of the day. But then we'll still go to the food court for dinner or something.
Yeah. I mean, and there are restaurants. Oh yeah, Valencia says she's like, I don't even know, maybe twice. Exactly. Like, I feel like we basically have like 2 main meals with maybe some snacks kind of in the middle to kind of sustain us.
Right.
But yeah, it's, you do what works for you and you'll figure it out. But yeah, that first day is definitely I would say the food court is a great, hey, where do I go day one? I just need to eat some lunch. Go down to the food court. It's a great option. Again, it's not cheap, but it's definitely not as expensive as going to a sit-down restaurant somewhere. The hotel restaurants are pretty good, but they are definitely pricey. Now, say you're in a big group of people and you all are like, hey, one of these nights, we want to make sure that all 8 to 12 of us are sitting down at a restaurant together and having drinks and having a good dinner. Make those reservations at those hotel restaurants and have a lovely evening, because those restaurants are pretty good and you would have a great time. But if you're
there's restaurants around, we'll go to the Mellow Mushroom a lot of times. It's like, it's a couple blocks away or more. It's not like right next door, but it's not far.
Yeah, the Mellow, I was just about to say the Mellow Mushroom is a great resource. It does get really busy on the Saturday night. Oh yeah, Aviva. I love Aviva.
Aviva's fantastic.
It's this Mediterranean restaurant down the food court. It's very popular.
I forget his name that runs it.
So nice.
Yeah,
the nicest man ever, I swear. The guy that is the chef that operates it and operates it, and it's his baby.
And we especially, both of us, we're not vegan now, but we have dabbled in veganism in the past. And I know I've been to the convention 1 or 2 times when I was eating vegan, and that was a go-to.
It was a solid go-to. It's Mediterranean based, but they have lots of different options. Camille. Yeah, that's right. Camille, he's such a nice guy. And thanks, Valencia. You're keeping me up there. No, he's such a nice dude. And he's always out there with a smile, and he always hands out samples while you're waiting in line.
Right.
And I say waiting in line. Yeah, there's a line. That line moves, dude. They are not playing around. They are here to make sure the convention goers are fed, and they are always there with a smile, and they're always the nicest people at that restaurant.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's pleasant. I would recommend, if at least one meal during your entire convention, go to Aviva. It's lovely. Yeah. Great experience.
So, and then okay, I was gonna say, I guess that covers where to eat, but then you mentioned that you wanted to mention the secret food court.
The secret food court. I say the secret food court because it's like, I feel like I discovered it back in like 2022, I think was the first time I realized it, and was like, holy crap, there's a secret food court.
So, well, actually, I'll go back to, I just have Google Maps pulled up. So when you'll notice, like, say you're in the Marriott and you are headed toward the Hyatt, and you can even see the Sky Bridge. If you can see my cursor on the screen, there's the Sky Bridge right there. Before you get to the Sky Bridge, like probably right around this area, you'll see that there's like some like glass doors that go to the north. And there is a different Sky Bridge that goes this way. And right where that Dunkin' is, that is the like secret food court, I guess.
It's much smaller. It's not very big, but it does have some gems in it. And not as many people seem to go there.
Funkier hours.
It does have funkier hours. It does.
I've heard rumors that this year it might have more hours, but I do not know how true that is. That is just hearsay at this point. It could happen. It could not happen. I've been there very little because I never really know when it's open. But there's a food court over there. It's smaller than the bigger Peachtree Center food court, which is over here.
It's a good option for breakfast because it has the Dunkin', but it also has a Caribou. So there has both of those. And then there's also a little pastry shop on top of that in that little thing. So if you're looking for a breakfast option, that's another breakfast option.
Yeah.
It's one of those little places. Nobody else really knows where it is. So there's that. And then my last food like information. So Monday is Labor Day. Monday is a national holiday.
Yep.
Food options. If you're staying Monday and you're not checking out till Tuesday, Monday food options definitely decrease. A lot of the restaurants are closed, even in the food court. There's only a few that are open, and a lot of them only open for like the first half of the day. So definitely plan that if you are staying Monday night, you may need to venture outside of the hub of the Dragon Con realm of downtown Atlanta.
Yeah.
And you may have to go to other restaurants. And I say that, and even then, other restaurants are also closed on Labor Day weekend. So...
But there's some available.
But there are some available.
You just might have to like, I mean, yeah, our first year, I think that we decided, hey, we're staying until Tuesday. We didn't really want to venture out, and it was like, wow, there's nothing around our
Went
hotel.
to Hard Rock.
Yeah, we ended up going to Hard Rock. That's right.
Hard Rock was open.
Which Hard Rock is fine.
It's just fine.
But
It wasn't
it's just
great.
not what we were looking for.
It worked.
And
there was another year we found a really great restaurant just uptown. It was delicious.
yeah.
We sat outside. Lovely.
And right now there's a whole group of us that are staying Monday night into Tuesday, where a lot of us are not leaving until Tuesday, and we have our own routine of where we go Tuesday night, and it's not right in that general area. We kind of either take an Uber or drive there, and yeah, like it's just something to think about if you are staying in one of those hotels and you're staying till Tuesday, that food is something to think about you might not be expecting.
I wouldn't say the food's scarce. It's just that your options become very limited on Monday. So you definitely need to kind of have that in the back of your head. And even Monday morning breakfast, so say you wind up needing to get breakfast, the food court, a lot of those are not open. So yeah, my recommendations would be like the little spot that's at the Hilton or at the Cortland. Those are good little resources because those are definitely open. But Monday, just don't forget Monday is a national holiday and there's a lot of places that are closed. Yeah. So it's definitely something to keep in the back of your head for sure.
To go back to, I guess this kind of goes back to the hotel conversation we had earlier and like the whole staying till Tuesday or not thing. Then this comes to mind because you brought up the whole like restaurant situation on Labor Day. And I guess this goes into like the pros and cons of staying till Tuesday or one thing that was very jarring for me the first year that we stayed until Tuesday is that it can be very jarring how quickly the like whole like host hotel area just depletes of con attendees.
Yeah.
And if you're like us and we're just like, man, we never want this to end. We love Dragon Con. We get there Wednesday. We leave Tuesday. And
Wednesday's the new Thursday.
And it's one thing when you get there early. You get there like Wednesday's the new Thursday at this point, and Tuesday will be the new Wednesday very soon.
Very
right?
soon.
If not already. You get there Wednesday and it kind of feels like there's a ramp up. Like there's already a lot of people there Wednesday for sure. And I'm sure there's people there Tuesday. I haven't arrived on Tuesday yet.
I haven't done it yet.
But, there's a ramp up to how many people are showing up, and like it's fun. But like when it ends, it ends.
Yeah.
like yes. On Monday, if you stay and you're gonna stay the night Monday night and not leave till Tuesday, like how quickly the host hotels just turn into almost a ghost town is. I'm bringing this up because it can be a bit like jarring. Like if you are there and staying there longer because you are like, I don't want it to end.
I don't want to deal with checking out Monday.
I'm here to tell you that, and maybe I'll be wrong this year, but it's not like the ramp up. It doesn't ramp down. It's like everyone is just gone.
It's quick.
And I remember that first year being a little depressed about it, being like, oh wow.
We both were.
It was there's no one around. It's the worst when you go, but it's worse when you go back to your room and Dragon Con TV goes off. It like goes to that like boo screen. Like, I don't know.
Static.
It's just like that like Dragon Con logo for a while and it's just nothing. And I'm like, oh wow, even Dragon Con TV turned off. And it's just sad.
I remember that first year you and I we didn't know what to do with ourselves.
I know.
And we were just like, ow.
I'm like, I'm supposed to turn on regular TV now?
Right. Yeah. And then we were like, well, we need to eat dinner. We need to eat food. And then it was the whole like, where do we eat food at? And we looked, it was interesting. It was an interesting challenge. And we wound up at the Hard Rock because the Hard Rock is open on Labor Day. So if there's any default and you're like, well, I don't even want to Uber or Lyft anywhere, the Hard Rock is right there in the heart. And I think the Hooters is also open as well.
Is there still Hooters down there?
That Hooters is We had a whole conversation last year. That Hooters is jamming.
Did we?
That Hooters is popping. Go, because Bobby was with us and he was like, there's a Hooters right here. And we're like, there sure is.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So, and it somewhat plays into, I was going to ask you this, and I think I know how I feel about it. We are going up Wednesday and we're coming back Tuesday this year. Mm-hmm. That's like the longest we've done Dragon Con before. We've done it before. This isn't the first year we've done this. But we talked about, like, in future years, we'll probably scale back a little bit. But I go back and forth, but then I think I do still settle in one direction when it comes to, if I'm going to cut off one day, which day am I going to cut off? Am I going to either decide to go up Wednesday but leave Monday, or am I going to go up Thursday and leave Tuesday? And I was going to ask you this, but I'll go ahead and say, I think I lean toward staying at a place like the Ritz and going up Wednesday and coming back Monday because kind of partly because of what I just said. Like, there is fun to be had Wednesday, and it is exciting.
Oh, no.
It's super nice to get there early, and there's an even easier check-in process when you get there Wednesday. Yeah. But there's already a lot of people showing up, and a lot of people already cosplaying on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And the Hooters closed apparently.
Really? No way.
That's what Valencia said.
What?
Sorry.
Wow. Because he was doing good business last.
No more Hooters.
And I remember this only because our friend Bobby, who was at his first Dragon Con last year, was like, we walked by and he was like, there's a Hooters. And we're like, yeah, there's a Hooters.
But anyway.
Sorry.
Like, I think that if for me, it's like getting there Wednesday is super convenient for an easier check-in, and there's already like a vibe happening and people are kind of partying already, but it's a chiller party. And then you're already there Thursday morning as people are showing up, and you're like, yeah, I'll go wander over to the badge pickup line and get my badge while everyone's checking into their hotels. And it's nice to get there Wednesday. And then if you are staying at a hotel where it's easier to check out, I kind of veer in that direction and then just checking out Monday. But that doesn't mean we got to skip town like early Monday morning.
Right.
Like, get checked out, get the stuff in the car, maybe still go to the vendor hall, and then leave town in the afternoon. Well, that's where
that's another thing that we've learned on Mondays is the times that we have left pre-lunchtime Monday, traffic out of Atlanta is insane. So we've also learned that, and we've learned that if you do leave Monday, you basically want to get out of town after lunch, and then the traffic out of Atlanta is not as horrific, at least heading south. All I can say is we'll be heading south towards Florida. Right. So... No, I agree. I think it depends on what hotel we're in.
Right.
I would say if we went up at the Marriott, I like checking out the Marriott on a Tuesday.
Oh, totally. I don't disagree. Even though we just explained to everyone earlier that there are ways to get out on Monday.
It can be done, but I would say if we were at the Marriott, I would prefer to just stay until I would say get there as early as possible Thursday and then leave on Tuesday. Now, do I think it's going to be the Westin would be the same as checking out of a Marriott? No.
I've heard mixed things though. I mean, I've heard the hotels I keep saying that for elevators. The elevators at the Westin can be a situation there too.
And that I can see. So, but like you just said, the example is the Ritz-Carlton. As we know, checking out on Monday from the Ritz-Carlton is not a problem.
No, not at all.
It is the smoothest checkout we've ever had. It's the only time we've ever had a bellman help us.
Right.
Like, it is the smoothest checkout process on Mondays as far as we've experienced at hotels. The Cortland would be second place, in my opinion, leaving on a Monday. So I think for me, it just depends on the hotel we're at. I think overall, I would prefer to be there on Wednesdays and leave on Monday. But let's see what Valencia's saying. I'm local, so I leave early Monday afternoon. Exactly.
As soon as I get home, I don't know what to do with myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always jarring, like leaving in a kind of a con like this, and then you have to go back to real life.
Yeah. And like, it's weird being in downtown Monday afternoon, evening. It's weird.
It's
the
weird.
vibes are off.
But you've been walking through these hotels for days, and it's just like nonstop, like cosplay craziness, and then for it to just like a light switch, how quickly it changes.
It is so different.
You think it's almost going to ramp down, kind of like the ramp up, but it's not like that. At least so far has not been like that for me.
I mean, the ramp up Wednesday through Thursday is just that. It's Wednesday through Thursday into Friday even. Monday between the sun rising and lunch, everybody leaves. So in the course of a handful of hours, everyone's gone. Most people are gone. It's jarring.
Yeah. One nice thing about staying though, if you're there until basically the bitter end on Monday, we didn't mention there is like a closing ceremonies panel, I think is what it's called.
There is a closing ceremonies panel. That is cool. We've done that before.
We did it once, and I'd like to do it again this year if we can. If you haven't been, if the closing ceremonies panel ends up, some of the, like, a couple of the, like, head people with Dragon Con are on the panel, and they do take, like, a Q&A, and a lot of people end up asking questions like, hey, about future stuff. Like, are you thoughts on doing this or thoughts on doing that? And it's one of those panels. I know Comic-Con out in San Diego does this similar thing. Bobby's talked about it, where they have kind of a, I don't know what they call it out there, where it's like a kind of state of Comic-Con panel almost. And it allows people to like ask questions about the convention and future plans. And this is kind of like that too. And,
it was pretty cool to go to that one year, and I definitely the reason we haven't done it in years since, and we've been staying until Tuesday, is because we've been volunteers,
right?
And
we're like
we are committed to closing our track out. Exactly, we close our track out on Mondays, and so we haven't been able to go to it. But I can see this year, since we're not volunteering, we can go and go to the closing ceremonies. I will say it's nice. It's a nice little thing to kind of say goodbye to the con.
They also kind of give you like some stats on like, okay, how the convention went for them this year, and
how much money was raised for the charity. The charity,
which by the way is NAMI, Georgia, NAMI.
I guess we should preface, so anybody who doesn't know, Dragon Con picks a charity every year, and it's a different charity. And during the entirety of the convention, people can donate money. And all of the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds, go to that charity. And Dragon Con will commit double to, I want to say to $100,000 or $10,000. I forget how much it is.
I don't remember.
They commit
I don't think I see it
a ridiculous amount on top of what is just donated to that charity. And so every year it's a different charity.
Dragon Con's company match up to $125,000.
$125,000. So they will match up to $125,000 to this charity. Some of these charities, like, it's more money than they've raised in multiple years combined. So it is a huge thing that they do for the community of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's great. And if you can give even $5 during the entirety of the convention, it adds up, and it's amazing. So it's one of those things, like, it's great.
So yeah, since we're talking about it, NAMI is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. NAMI Georgia envisions a Georgia where all people affected by mental illness live healthy, fulfilling lives supported by a community that cares. NAMI Georgia empowers affiliates to provide advocacy, education, support, and public awareness so that all individuals and families affected by mental illness can build better lives.
That's awesome.
So that's this year's charity.
And there's a blood drive. Every year, Dragon Con does a blood drive.
A pretty cool shirt they'll give you if you do the blood drive.
It's a specially created shirt just for Dragon Con blood donors.
You'll see people walking around the hotels. It's
different every year. And that's a huge thing. Is that blood drive is also a really huge thing. So, I mean, if you can do either of those things or both of those things, please do so. It's great that this convention, so Comic-Con also has a blood drive, but there's not a charity that is also associated with the convention. This is the only convention I've ever been to that also has a charity partner, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, totally.
It's awesome. So.
Oh, and yeah, the Dragon Con hustle as well. The virtual 5K.
Yeah, the virtual. We've done that too. That's right.
Which the medal this year is pretty sweet because I think Star Wars track won, so it's a Star Wars medal this year.
Yeah, it's a Star Wars themed track.
It's pretty sweet.
It's pretty sweet. Yeah, every year a different track will is designated to design the medal, and this year it's Star Wars. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you basically it's money and proceeds that go towards the I can't think. I just lost it. If you just scroll down a little bit on your screen, you'd really help me out so much.
Wait, what are you looking for? The
charity. That's the word I'm looking for.
Oh.
My God.
Okay, sorry. I was reading something else while you were talking.
I know you were distracted. It's cool. No, so the proceeds from that go to the charity too. So you get a cool medal and you're donating. I mean, it's a win-win.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool.
What else? I mean,
there's so many cool things.
There's so many things.
I hate to go back to food. Can we go back to food for a second?
No, I was going to because we didn't talk about the con suite.
The con suite. One of the great perks of being a badge holder during convention.
I don't think so. My first year was in 2013. I couldn't tell you the first year I went to the con suite because it was not in 2013 and it wasn't in 2014. If I recall, it might have been your first year.
It was the first year I went, and you and I ventured with someone else, and we located it, and that was the first time you ever went.
I don't. If you watch Dragon Con TV, if you're an oldie, not a newbie like us, and you watch a lot of Dragon Con TV, I want to say my first even hearing of the con suite was that you'll see this music video a lot, the one that's based on the Katy Perry song. Last Dragon Con or whatever it's called. And at one point she says something about the con suites right next door. And I think that was the first time I'd ever heard anything about the con suite. And
I'm like, con suite?
I'm like, what the F is that?
Con suite.
And I still had no idea. Like I just said, I didn't go to it for years. I didn't know where it was. And meanwhile, the con suite, I think, is listed in like one of the guides they used to print. They don't print as many of the guides as they used to.
It's all in the app now.
A lot of it's in the app. You'll still get like a souvenir book, I think, when you get your badge.
Pickup? Yeah.
But there was other stuff they used to print and they don't anymore. Anyway, come to find out, I think it was always listed somewhere and I just never looked and I didn't know where it was. But the con suite is this room where there's a group of volunteers that are all that volunteer at the con suite and they just give out free food and drink. And
it's a volunteer driven cantina, basically.
Kind of. And it's up on the second floor of the Hyatt.
Yep.
It's not labeled, so you do have to know where it is. There's no sign. It's going, hey,
there's
con
no
suite
signage.
This way. It is definitely something about the convention that's you kind of have to know where to go. And I think it should go without saying, you could basically ask anybody. Everyone at the con is very friendly. You just ask people, hey, where's the con suites? People will point you in the right direction.
Yeah. If you could just get to the Hyatt and ask a volunteer at the Hyatt, they will let you know. But the easiest way to know is there's a stair. If you can take the stairs, if
you're able to take the
stairs,
able to
take the stairwell. There's a stairwell right by the Sky Bridge from the Hyatt to the Marriott, and it's literally right by their quick service breakfast. They're like quote unquote Starbucks. Take that stairwell up, and then as you come out of the stairwell, it will be directly to your right. And now, is this fancy food?
Oh no,
Lord no. It's
not bad for you.
But it's not bad. They usually have peanut butter jelly sandwiches, nachos.
It's very random.
Hot dogs.
You never know what you're going to get when you go there.
It's constantly changing. They have soft drinks. They have popcorn. They have. Yeah, we always take the stairs too.
Right.
Literally, it is a respite. It is when you are at the Hyatt and you're like, I need a little something. I can tell I need to get some water, possibly some caffeine into my body. Donuts. It's one of those, you need a little something to just kind of help keep you going during the day. And if you're already at the Hyatt, it is a delightful little treat. It's complimentary. It's part of your badge. It's volunteer run, so please be super kind to these people because they are really doing the most for everyone else. But it's a great little thing to know if you just need a little snack to help push you over the edge that day. They always have like a candy bowl, so if you're like, I need just a little bit of candy to kind of take off the edge of my sweet tooth, grab a little bit of candy. No, it's great. The con suite, it really can help push you through your afternoon sometimes. Yeah. Quite honestly.
So that's where the con suite is. If you can remember, it's in the Hyatt, second floor. If you're still confused, just ask. People will
just get to the Hyatt, get to the second floor.
People will send you in the right direction.
They will get you there.
If you see us, just ask us. We'll take.
Yeah,
I will walk you.
We'll walk you up the stairs. It's cool.
Find me at the Hilton. I will walk you to the con suite. So yeah, that's going back to food. Speaking of food, hydration is kind of part of that. And this is really quick. It's, I would highly recommend you carry around like a water bottle.
Yes.
But it's super convenient because there's a lot of convenient places to refill that water bottle. I think in every track room, I know in our track room at Digital Media Track, there is usually a water jug that will regularly be refilled by the hotel staff. And you can basically go into any track room and there's a water dispenser.
It's free water.
You can just fill your water bottle if you have one. It's great.
Like filtered water. That's not just from the tap in the bathroom or something. Like this is crap. Like water that is actually drinkable.
I don't remember if last year was the first year they did this. There is like an IV company, an IV station in the Marriott down on the bottom floor or the marquee level.
They're doing it.
I heard it's the company this year. I think is a different IV company, but I think it's going to be in the same location. So there is that option if you don't think you can hydrate properly just by intaking water and electrolytes. You can do an IV drip. I'm throwing no shade. I've just never done it before. I've paid for hydration through IV. I will say, looking at the prices, I'm like, wow, that is not the cheapest thing I've ever seen.
Can you put it on the screen?
I can. I've got the Instagram page up. I can't really blow it up, so I don't know how small that is if you're watching. You can do hydration with B12 and anti-nausea, anti-inflammatory. Perfect for those partying a little too hard. It's called Blood of Your Enemies.
That's fabulous.
It's $99. And then also Pot of Gold, also $99. Hydration plus vitamins and electrolytes. Find your sparkle and power through.
So me and my liquid IV powder.
Yeah. There is just
are totally fine.
There is just it's called Stay Wet. It's just hydration, just right. It's $50.
You know what? I almost want to try just that cheap one, just for funsies.
Right.
Just to say I tried it. I'll go do it on Saturday or Sunday morning and just be let's just see how I feel.
I mean, I was looking at this because there was a part of me that was like, maybe one of the days I should try it. But then I saw the prices. I'm like, whoa, $100. I mean, yeah, maybe the $50. I guess I could swallow that. But
and I say that because I at one point in life, I worked next to one of these IV places, and I know that they basically had some of these drip things starting at $27, and they went up $27, $39, $45 or something.
Right.
But I would say they started kind of in the 20s. So part of me is kind of looking at these prices, going, "These are steep."
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
Scorcher serum is $20.
The Iron Throne, $150. The Mac Daddy of IVs, double the vitamins.
If it's your thing, though,
you've
done these in the past and you were like, no, this is what gets me through a Saturday night.
Totally.
Dude.
Again, I'm throwing no shade. I just don't have any experience with it.
I've just never done it.
Just never done it. I also don't drink as much as I used to, and I don't think I've really be to the point of oh my God, I'm dying. I need to go get an IV.
So again, there's free water in every track room.
Right.
In all of the hotels. So if you just go into a track room, preferably not while a track is happening, but maybe between tracks, Go in, you can just fill your water up with some filtered water. So yeah, bring, you know, your dollar store water bottle, bring your Camelback, bring your, what is it, Stanley cup, bring whatever water bottle you love. Bring that with you to Dragon Con and just refill that.
Yeah.
But just remember to maybe wash it out at the end of a day. Every now and then.
Yeah. If you are going to be at the convention and you are hoping there is somewhere convenient to get like random supplies, especially pharmacy type supplies.
Oh, this is the best. This is the most important thing you'll learn this whole video.
There is conveniently a CVS that is, well, I didn't search CVS, so it's not popping up, but it is right here in the front of the Peachtree Center.
I guarantee you this CVS is the highest grossing pharmacy in all of America on Labor Day weekend.
Yeah,
Hands
it's pretty
down.
crazy.
Hands down.
They're well staffed. They are ready for Dragon Con. If you just need like all sorts of stuff that you would expect at a CVS, it's a very convenient location.
Snacks, bandages, feminine hygiene products for sudden pop-ups, hair, nail polish for cosplay.
A block south of the Hyatt, just north of the Ritz, right in here at the Peachtree Center, is there's a CVS there. Y'all just reminded me I need to get me some Liquid IV is a good thing to bring with.
Liquid IV,
sure.
what's up?
Liquid IV or there's various other companies.
But that CVS, I will say, like David said, they work really hard all weekend. They work really hard to make sure they are well stocked all weekend. They have basically everything you need. Yeah. If you forgot something, I feel confident you can probably purchase it at that CVS. And it's a very busy store. It is not for the faint of heart. It's a busy store. But if you forgot something from home and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to survive? Chances are you're probably going to be able to get it there. And then worst case scenario, if you have the time, you can always Amazon something to an Amazon package pickup center location. There's a couple in downtown Atlanta. If that CVS doesn't have it, you can always do that.
Right.
But overall, that CVS definitely is, they're well stocked. They're also, other than the volunteers for Dragon Con, probably the hardest working people in downtown Atlanta for the Labor Day weekend. So be kind to them. They are very helpful.
One other thing I was going to bring up are ribbons.
And we're just jumping all over now.
We're jumping all over the place.
We're getting spasticky now. I like it. We're just going all over the place.
I've never seen this as a thing at any other convention I've been to.
No, I would agree.
Badge ribbons. Badge ribbons, I think, are definitely hitting a peak at Dragon Con. Part of me, I say this, I just wonder if badge ribbons are going to jump the shark at some point, and
never.
I don't know that they ever will. And I'm not saying they need to. I don't have a problem with badge ribbons. I think badge ribbons are great.
MegaCon, I feel like they're starting to catch on at MegaCon a little bit.
Oh, I haven't seen them at MegaCon.
Not at Comic-Con, but MegaCon, I think that they're catching on a little bit there. A little bit.
You'll see people kind of like this that will really just take as many badge ribbons as they can possibly get. They'll like stand up on like the higher levels, and you can just go by and like attach your badge ribbons.
They call them quote unquote beards.
Is that what they call them?
Those are called beards.
But yeah, everyone gives out these badge ribbons, and I think they're great. And I mean, I'm doing a cosplay with a couple friends this year, and we have badge ribbons. And I'm excited about it.
Yeah, they're fun ribbons. And like, I always like it when it's niche and kind of like tongue in cheek and like a play on what their thing is. It's fun. They're fun.
I have to tell a story though. So, to throw a shout out to another show, Geek Saga Entertainment. They do every year Drinking Con stream.
They did their Drinking Con tonight too.
They did their Drinking Con like 2 hours before we started our stream. And while watching their stream, she mentioned this story that's on the Dragon Con Reddit subreddit.
Okay.
And it's pretty hilarious. So I guess, and I'll bring it up on the screen. So I guess somebody ordered some badge ribbons, and they got all excited because their badge ribbons showed up, and the badge ribbons weren't the ones they ordered. And they were like so bummed because they're like, I got these badge ribbons for Clean Butts Grooming, and it's like a corgi. And they're like, I didn't order these ribbons. But then when you go in the comments, it turns out the person who owns this business, it's like a dog grooming business. The person who owns this business attends Dragon Con, and actually like, and I'll see if I can find them down here in the comments here, right here. It's like, hi, owner of Corgi Ribbons here. I am cackling at these comments. They are amazing. Yeah, this is my second time going to Dragon Con and figured I'd make my own ribbons. I don't have much of a plan yet. How I want to hand these out. Recommendations welcomed. I'll leave some in the bathrooms to start. So this person got random ribbons that they didn't order, but it turns out the person who actually made them for Dragon Con for their business. Like, I just found this hilarious.
I feel it's funny.
Like, I am desperately wanting one of these.
We're gonna have to start going to the bathrooms.
I'm going
to the bathroom.
Well, that's the thing. The person who ordered them doesn't have them. Like, unless they're going to get them back somehow, but somebody's going to be handing these ribbons out.
That is hilarious.
Yes.
Wow.
I desperately want one of these.
I mean, you can see behind your head, you have some of your old badges, and there's some.
Yeah, there's some. I've got some on these here. But anyway,
yeah. You can see them. You didn't see them in the frame you had earlier. Sorry.
Oh, what? This frame?
Well, now you can really see them. Oh, yeah. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
There's ribbons.
Yeah. They're fun. Ribbons are fun.
I've never, in the little bit of going to Dragon Con and collecting ribbons, it's like, don't get me wrong, I'll take whatever ribbons I get from people.
Oh.
But I'm the kind of person that's like, I'll put them on my badge if, one, I either just really like the ribbon or it's like associated with a fandom I really enjoy or care about.
That's how I am.
Like, I've definitely gotten some ribbons randomly that are just like promoting something.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no offense. I just don't know anything about this and don't care about it. And it's like, I feel like you have to earn a spot on my badge.
Yeah. I kind of take the same perspective. I mean, I will say though, like, so whenever I'm in my Ghostbuster jumpsuit, and somebody has a really good Ghostbuster ribbon and they want to give it to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's happening. But there are some really good ones out there, and people always find what kind of speaks to them. And I mean, if you want to just collect them to collect them, go for it. Do what you want to do. But yeah, it's ribbons are fun. Ribbons are fun. People just hand them out. And then there's also just like random hidden swag. People will literally just make little cute bundles or just an item, and they'll just hide them all over the hotels, the walkways, the Communicore tunnels. And you just find random Dragon Con swag, and they're just like little nerdy things. It's just kind of fun. Yeah. And some people even create whole scavenger hunts. And you can like scavenger hunt throughout all of the hotels. It's kind of crazy, but it's kind of awesome. Like to be involved in this. It's like finding a community of people that you didn't think were out there that were your people, and they are. And then you join up with them and you wind up just doing all these crazy little things. I don't know. It's kind of fun.
If you're curious though, like, I mean, the more I scroll through the Dragon Con subreddit, the more I'm like, okay, now I like have all these ribbons I want to find.
Can I pet that dog?
Like, where is it? I'm just going back up to it now, and I know I don't have it on the screen yet, but I'll throw it up on the screen when I get to it. This one here, the kindness is punk rock. I'm like,
the Superman one. That's cute.
I want that.
That's adorable.
Socially anxious. I had a cosplay, but I got scared. I'm like, there's just a lot of good. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff in the subreddit, not just ribbons, but there's a lot of people just posting whatever ribbons they're bringing to con. It's pretty sweet.
Nice.
So if you're curious, go check it out. I love these Cusco cosplay with the Marriott carpet.
It's fun.
It's good stuff.
That's fun.
So yeah, ribbons are a thing. Look out for them. And it's the kind of thing you don't have to have a ribbon to trade. I guess there are like ribbon meetups.
There are ribbon
in
meetups.
that case, you probably want to have a ribbon that you're trading with other people.
I would recommend you already have a ribbon.
Otherwise, if people have ribbons and you either just ask kindly for one or they're just going to hand them out, either just because they want to give it to you or because of the cosplay you're wearing. I mean, you don't have to give them anything back.
Yeah.
So ribbons are definitely a thing. Group shoots I wanted to touch on because
you've done a few.
I've done a couple. I did a Harry Potter group shoot. I've done the Star Wars group shoot. There is a whole like database, if I have it pulled up here, for group shoots. I'll throw a link to this in the show notes if you're watching us on YouTube. But it is dragonshoots.nerdbot.com. But anyway, so this is like I don't know who created this, but it's like a whole database of all the different group photo shoots that are happening.
What?
Anyone out there can correct me if I'm wrong, but they all take place over at the Hilton. The Hilton has these like this outdoor section where these two like staircases where they do all the group shoots. And yeah, you can just search in here and there's tons of different stuff. It is kind of crazy how many different shoots there are, but yet I've searched for a couple different shoots and I'm like, there's no Ghostbusters shoot.
It seems crazy to me. There's no Ghostbusters shoot.
Or Spaceballs, but then there's a lot of other stuff and it's great. I mean, there's a Taylor
There's something
Swift
for everybody.
shoot, like, yeah, there is something for everybody. So if you are cosplaying and for whatever fandom and you want to see if there's a group shoot for that cosplay, there's a very good chance there is.
I wonder if because the Ghostbusters is just such a big thing already that's why there's just not a shoot, because the Ghostbusters, we already kind of have our own meetups.
I don't know.
Well, I will say, so we really haven't even talked about cosplay at this convention. And cosplay, this is one of the best conventions for cosplay, in my opinion, I've ever been to.
Yeah.
And there's just cosplay everywhere. But I would say where people love to show off their cosplay, the Marriott is a great cosplay show-off place. But another one is there's this park that's located, I want to say it's just north of the Hilton. You know what I'm talking about, that park that's there by that restaurant that we don't like.
Man, it's not that bad. No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know what to call that park or what that is, but yes, there's a lot of people that do
photo shoots out there.
Photo shoots, like we'll get a photographer and do shoots over there.
Yeah, but there's cosplay everywhere. It's out on the street. It's in the hotels. It's all over the place, and it's great. The Hilton's also, honestly, all the hotels, they're just great cosplay. This is a convention where if you just want to go and people watch, this is one of the best people watching conventions you can ever possibly imagine to go to. You could literally find a spot, sit down, and see some of the coolest stuff you'll ever see. And people will have made it in their homes by themselves. It's awesome.
No, the cosplay at Dragon Con, I think, is, at least in my experience, it's not like I've been to every convention there is, but is unparalleled. Like,
it is.
It is not to say you need to cosplay to have a good time.
Not at all.
I think there was the first time we did How to Dragon Con a couple years ago, I might have made a comment where it's like, oh, you're going to really want to cosplay, or I don't know what I said. But
it makes you want to do it when you're there. It makes you kind of, like, I'm not a big, I like cosplay, but I'm not a big cosplayer. But whenever I'm around, I'm always like, I should have done something.
At least that was my experience. Like, because even before I went to that first Dragon Con, I was already kind of interested in it based on what I had seen at Comic-Con and MegaCon. So when I came to Comic-Con, it was like hardcore. And that first year, I went on the costuming track. I went to various panels on the costuming track and tried to start learning, like, hey, what skills can I start learning to make some of this happen, because now I want to do this for the next time I come. And that's not to say I felt like out of place because I wasn't cosplaying, but and if you're not someone who has any interest in cosplaying, you can have a fantastic time at Dragon Con and never cosplay. Trust me.
Most of the time, I'm not even dressed up. I'm not.
So when I said that, I think a couple years ago, that was for me. I mean, it was more like I found myself going, man, I want to start cosplaying some and being more a part of this. But you could totally not cosplay and have a great time at the con.
Maybe.
Hardy Ivy, is that the name of the park? It might be. Maybe. I'd have to look it up. But yeah, cosplay is a huge part of this convention. I have other friends that are like big into cosplay that have not been to Dragon Con yet. And I'm like, how have you not been? Of all the conventions you go to.
I know.
I'm like, this is the one you need to go to as a cosplayer.
Yeah.
Like, it's great.
Yeah, like cosplay is really big at a lot of anime conventions. But I will say cosplay at San Diego Comic-Con seems to have really declined. Like, and especially we were just there a few weeks ago. It has really declined. It's not as big as it used to be. But cosplay at Dragon Con, it's the vibe. It's the energy that it's a huge aspect of the energy that is happening at Dragon Con. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I mean,
it's a huge chunk of what makes the convention what it is.
I mean, throughout the year, you and I do this all the time where we'll see something, maybe a new movie or whatever, a new TV show, and there'll be some type of character in something where we're like, oh man, how many of this are we going to see at Dragon Con this year? And my most recent example of that is like, how many Aunt Gladyses am I going to see at Dragon Con this year?
Be so many.
Multiple. I have to imagine I'm going to see so many. And it's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be amazing. And creepy all at the same time.
Right. Various versions of Aunt Gladys. Yes. Anyway.
It's going to be a thing. But yeah, it's like even here in Orlando, we have MegaCon. And MegaCon is another huge cosplaying convention.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say Dragon Con is still even a notch above that one.
I think for Dragon Con, it's also, again, going back to the atmosphere of the hotels and the parties, which is another thing we really haven't discussed. Like, there are a lot of themed parties every night, and a lot of people also just cosplay based on those parties. Yeah. Either the Star Wars party, which is Last Night on Alderaan, or the 10 Forward for Star Trek, or stuff like that. Or Bunny Hutch, which is a big one for Thursday night. Bunny Hutch has become so huge.
Oh, Bunny Hutch. Remember when we went, we were like, oh, this is pretty chill. And then it just exploded each year. It's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
So, yeah, I think going back to the atmosphere of Dragon Con is what I think also plays into the amount of cosplay we see, which is great.
It's great. It really brings... That's what brings the vibes. It's what brings us all together, kind of in a way, honestly, is the cosplay. And so, yeah, then there's these photo meetups where you literally can meet up with a group of people that have the similar interest as you, and they're also cosplaying. And you can take these really cool, epic photos that all of you are all interested in this thing. It's pretty fun. And you haven't even showed your footage of like the hallways or the communicore or anything. What do you got? What videos you got?
I don't have much more, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Not really. I mean, I think there was a video of the like sky bridges I haven't shown. I mean,
people need to know what the sky bridge looks like.
I mean, this is the inside of the sky bridge, and this is like an example of a sky bridge and like peak traffic.
Yeah, this is kind of peak traffic.
This is like when you just really need to be prepared to vacation with going through a sky bridge. Is basically
and
what I'm saying.
Being surrounded by people.
Yeah, like, and you'll see signs in the sky bridges of like no playing Pokemon Go and no playing Wizards Unite or whatever the Harry Potter one is called, and no photos or whatever, just because you shouldn't be stopping in the sky bridge because it's just too busy for that. Yeah. So yeah, that's one clip I haven't shown yet.
It's a constant.
But hey, there's lots of stuff.
Okay, what else we got?
Oh, like videos?
We haven't talked about the vendor hall.
We have not talked about the vendor hall.
Well, that's a good video. Look at that. Look at that Marriott atrium.
This is Marriott at like a Thursday night or something.
Yeah, it's like Thursday.
Wednesday night, maybe. I don't know. Like,
It's a Thursday.
this is a very quiet Marriott.
This is a chill.
That's a very chill. I think that's a Wednesday night.
That is Wednesday.
'Cause there's not much happening there.
Yeah.
Vendor hall. Yeah.
The vendor hall.
We should probably, this will probably
Shopping.
be our last subject. We will probably need to wrap this up soon.
Shopping.
We mentioned earlier the vendor hall is in America's Mart Building 2, and it is 3 floors of that building.
That's not including the 4th floor. That is just the artist alley.
Even though the convention is now, because I'm going to say this, like when I first started going to the convention, it was Friday. Officially, it was Friday through Monday. And yeah, you could pick up your badge Thursday, but there was nothing like officially happening on Thursday. Now that has changed. Thursday is now like official con day.
This is an official con day.
With that said, the con really still gets going on Thursday or Friday. Like, yeah, Bunny Hutch happens Thursday, and there's a bunch of other stuff that does happen Thursday, like,
It's like
later
the
in the
kickoff stuff.
day.
There's Thursday night.
Yeah.
The kickoff.
But the first full day is still really Friday. And the vendor hall is not, I'm bringing all this up because the vendor hall, you might think, oh, well, the convention is open Thursday. The vendor hall would be open Thursday, but it is not. It is open Friday through Monday. So don't expect the vendor hall to be open Friday.
Thursday.
Or Thursday, sorry. It's been a long show. Excuse me.
That second drink actually went down really easy.
And there's that. I didn't say anything about the drink, but you brought it up. So
I'm just going to be honest. I'm honest with our audience.
and I'm trying to bring up the hours. I have the vendor hall hours here now. So yeah, it is Friday through Monday. It is open every day. It opens at 10 a.m. of those 4 days. And it's open till 7 p.m. except for Monday. It closes at 5.
Okay, 5. It used to be 4, I think.
I couldn't remember. I think it's always been
Wow.
5. Maybe it was 4. I don't know. But it
Oh,
is open 7 p.m.
bad.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 5 p.m. is the closing on Monday.
Again, Monday's a great day to go shopping there.
Monday is a great day. A lot of people leave or during the parade.
Yeah, we
If you
haven't
can get over
talked
there.
about the parade. We can go back to that.
But the vendor hall is also a situation where, depending on when you go, the line could be around the building, and inside there's like a not a parking area, but like a loading area. They even like have the queue go into this like loading dock area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If you have to wait in the line, it's not actually, it moves pretty well. It'll look long, but you might be surprised. It's not as bad of a wait as you might think.
I think there was, so the main day we went last year, we both were like, ooh, that looks rough. And I think we were in line for about 35 or 40 minutes, and that's including the loading dock area. And I was like, that really wasn't the worst to get into.
Right.
No, it wasn't like a 10-minute wait, but it wasn't also like hours to get in. It was like 35 minutes. It was not the worst, but it wasn't the greatest either.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you're in there, it's 3 floors of vendors, and they have all the nerdy stuff. Just all the great nerdy things you could possibly think of. They are there to sell their wares.
And we're saying Monday's a good day to go, but there are, depending on what items you're looking for, there might be certain stuff that will sell out. And if you, especially some of the like exclusive like Dragon Con stuff that different vendors are selling, you might want to get there as soon as you can, and go check out the vendor hall earlier in the weekend so that those things don't sell out. So it's something to think about.
Actually, the drinks that you and I are drinking right now, I'm trying to find their name. I can't think of
The cups.
the cups that we're drinking.
Oh, the cups we're drinking out of. I don't remember the vendor that makes these, but they're always at Dragon Con.
But
They're also at MegaCon. So
yeah.
I bought different ones here in Orlando as well at MegaCon,
And they have different sizes, and they're pretty cool. But they're one of our favorites because they're Arctic, so they have a lid, And they have a size that's bigger than this, and the size is bigger than this. Like, they have lots of different things, and they have cutting, kitchen stuff. They have like cutting boards and things like that.
Yep.
And they're a pretty cool vendor. There's lots of really great vendors that are there. There's some of my favorites that go there. I mean, but it's anything and everything you can think of. Anything, jewelry, clothing, housewares. I mean, anything nerdy you can think of, it's there, and it's a lot. It's great though. And then the 4th floor is the artist alley.
I think that's the 3rd floor, or is it the 4th floor?
It's 3 floors of vendors, right?
I couldn't remember.
And then the 4th floor is the artist alley.
Maybe. I don't know.
And so then you have artist alley, and then that's a whole nother thing. And so that's, the artists that do comics and just all kinds of things, and they're there. And then another fun little place that I like to go to, and it's actually at the Hyatt, and it's way down at the very bottom of the basement, and it's the art gallery, which is different from artist alley.
Or the art show.
The art show. And that is really cool walkthrough. So if you have time, I highly recommend that. It's fun to walk through. You can see art from so many different types of venues and vendors and different themes. It's pretty sweet there too. I would recommend checking that out. Very bottom floor of the Hyatt. It's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's shopping. What else we got?
You mentioned the parade.
The parade.
That would probably be the last thing we should probably.
I have a couple just like random little tips and tricks for people too.
Okay.
But that's just, whatever.
There's a parade at Dragon Con. If you didn't know this, it's on Saturday morning. We actually marched in the parade for the first time last year.
It was fun.
As Ghostbusters, and it was great.
It was awesome.
Don't think we're going to do it this year.
Yeah.
And that's not because we didn't have a great time, because we did. But I think we're going to skip this year, mostly because we enjoy our Ghostbusters cosplay. And then after we marched in it, our cosplay was just so soaked in sweat that it was like, well, now we can't wear this the rest of the week.
We literally were like, well, I can't wear this for the rest of Saturday, Sunday, or Monday.
Right.
This is shot.
But it was a really good time.
So fun. It was so fun.
As a con attendee, I think I went to the parade the first year and I found a spot. It was a lot easier even than to find a spot, but I found a spot and watched the parade. But ever since, as a con attendee, I've either skipped the parade or I've watched it on Dragon Con TV. Also because I probably stayed up too late Friday night and I didn't want to have to get up early Saturday morning to find a spot on the street. Because the parade is also the one event where people in Atlanta that are not attending the convention will just come and watch the parade, which they totally can. It's not like the parade is a badge required event.
Yeah, it's free to the public.
This is out in downtown Atlanta. I mean, it's anybody can go watch the parade, and
it gets busy.
If you want a spot to watch it, you're going to probably need to go find a spot early.
And you got to get there early. I would say 8:30. To get a decent spot.
And I think the parade is great. I am all for you should go to the parade one time, but it's something to keep in mind. You can also watch it on Dragon Con TV.
Yes.
And even if you don't watch it when it's streaming live, you can watch it later. Going back to the streaming membership, you can
$10 for a whole year.
Get a streaming membership and watch it whenever you want. But the parade is fantastic. I just, you have various options for watching it if you're not someone who's thinking you want to get up early on Saturday morning to go to the parade. Or if you're someone super lucky, like our friends who have a legacy room at the Hyatt that has a balcony overlooking the parade route, you could also do that. But you have to be one of those lucky people.
Valencia says, last year I watched it on TV while waiting on my first panel of the day. Yeah. Totally. Exactly. Now, hot tip. One of the best times to go to the vendor hall is Saturday morning while the parade is going on.
If you can get over there. You got to get over there before the parade goes by.
You got to get on that side of the road, on that side of downtown first. But it is a great time to go. It's pretty quiet over there.
Right.
Just as a hot tip.
Yep.
The parade's great.
So you had a couple more tips.
I just had random as a convention goer, out and about in life and existing in this world. Tips. I always recommend purchasing a small bottle of antibacterial. It's literally the best thing ever. I'm a person that hates having my hands feel dirty. And I know we touch so many things at the convention, so many things. And there's a lot of people there. And so there's just a lot of germs. And at the end of this 5-day weekend, I don't want to come home with the fun, what we call con crud. I don't want to come home with a virus. I don't want to wind up being sick and taking more time off from my job than I wasn't planning. So I do the best that I can to make sure that I am safe-ish, clean. So my recommendations is, make sure you take a shower at least once a day. It's always good to do. If you can, and I always bring a fresh bottle of antibacterial hand soap that I keep in our bathroom at our hotel room, because I think the bar soaps really just don't do anything. So yeah, I do that so I can wash my hands and make sure that my hands are minimally super clean. Antibacterial is great. Some people are still wearing masks. Not a lot. It's definitely minimized. But I would understand people wear masks. I say, good on you. You're probably doing the smartest thing you can do for your own health. Deodorant is a really good, important thing. I feel like it shouldn't be said, but sadly, sometimes people need reminders to throw on some deodorant each day. If you're a person that you are pro-vaccine, I recommend getting a flu shot. And if you're really pro-vaccine, getting your booster for COVID. It's always a good thing to do. We have a few more days. Knock that out, and it should be in your system well before the con starts. If not, totally cool. Your choice. Everybody has their own things. But yeah, be safe out there. Try to make sure that at the end of this convention, you have not just completely dehydrated yourself, come in contact with every germ and virus known to man, and you're going to go home just basically in a gutter of health. Hydrate yourself, eat food, wash your hands every now and then, sneeze into your arm. Try to not just completely bury yourself in the sand. Have a good time at the convention, but don't hurt your health. You still need to function the next week. And you want to make sure you can go home somewhat, not the peak of health, but, definitely not, 6 feet under at this point. Let's see, Flinta says, soap. I need to bring my own soap. Thanks for, honestly, I bring my own foaming hand soap for our bathroom at the hotel room because I like having our own soap and not using a bar soap to wash my hands each day. I'm weird like that. But yeah, and like I said, you're bringing your own water bottles, which is really, honestly, is the smartest thing you can do because you just refill it. But make sure you wash it every day or every other day. Bring a small bottle of, dish soap with you and wash your stuff in the hotel bathroom. And then do it before you go to bed. And in the morning you have a nice clean bottle for water and hydration. Again, hydration is what is going to keep you moving, honestly, through most of this convention. Yeah. And if you can, you don't have to get a whole first aid kit, but throw a couple of Band-Aids, into your bag because you'll wind up with blisters sometimes, or you'll just get a weird cut from who knows what. Again, go wash your hands with some soap and throw in a Band-Aid. Yeah, it's little stuff like this. I think we all kind of forget when we go to conventions, but it's these little things that kind of actually help save you at the end of the weekend. Yeah, I think make sure you have some snacks in your room, snacks in your backpack. Again, hydration is key. If you're just a plain water drinker, or if you need some flavor, pick up some hydration packets. Even if it's just Crystal Light, or if it's Liquid IV, do what you got to do. Try to make sure that you are going to sustain yourself through the weekend, and you're not just completely running off of, hopes and dreams and wishes and excitement of the con. You'll run out pretty fast. So Those are my like quick little tippy thingies, housekeeping kind of things. Do you have anything?
No, just go be kind to everybody around you.
That's a big one.
And I mean, I say that, and it's not like I've ever encountered a lot of negative energy at Dragon Con. It's always been very positive. Everyone's great. But just be patient, especially on days like Saturday when it's going to be very busy walking around.
The busiest day the whole time.
Walking around in the sky bridges and just through the hotels when you're trying to make your way from the Hilton through the Marriott over the Hyatt or vice versa. It can be, you're going to have to give yourself time at certain times. It can be very busy. But just take time, take breaks, enjoy yourself. Like all the stuff you just said, shower, eat, hydrate, and just enjoy yourself. And I don't really have much more beyond that, I don't think.
Yeah, I think have patience with other people. Have patience with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Try to be nice. You have to be fake to people, but try to be nice to people. You just never know what their day was earlier or later.
Right.
Like, there's really no reason to be mean to people, especially the volunteers. Like, these people are they're volunteering their time to help make the convention run. So yeah, just be nice to them. I mean, and sometimes they're doing the best that they can, especially people that are like guiding or running lines. Sometimes they're told the entrance is over here, and then they find out, oh no, wait, I'm so sorry, the line is shifted a little and it's this direction now. I'm so sorry. They're doing the best they can with the information that they're also given, and they're trying their best to help us enjoy our convention. So be kind to people. It costs you nothing.
Right.
And yeah, take breaks, man. Go find a little pocket of air conditioning and hydrate yourself and just kind of stop doing the things, because otherwise you can really deplete your own battery. Right. That's a really good one. Yeah.
I would say if you're looking for other info out there, just in general throughout the year. I mean, I don't, you may be watching this on YouTube at any point in the future, but throughout the year, there's lots of other outlets for updates on the con, not just official stuff, but unofficial stuff like ours. The Dragon Con Report is another one that comes to mind. I'll give them a shout out. They do a show throughout the year on YouTube and as a podcast feed that goes through various subjects for Dragon Con. So they have a lot of good info. We mentioned earlier Geek Saga Entertainment. They do Drinking Con and on their YouTube channel.
It was live tonight, but they probably are going to post it.
And if you're looking for more of a show that gives a lot of more just like the most recent info and a lot of stuff like that. I know this was more geared toward like anyone going for their first time, but if you're looking for the kind of information that's like just, hey, the latest on the upcoming year, like that was a really good show tonight that we watched. So I highly recommend it. Again, that's Geek Saga Entertainment, I think. I don't know what their full handle is on YouTube, but I'm sure you could find it. But yeah, there's lots of stuff out there, and that's just kind of like scratching the surface. I know there's lots of other people that make Dragon Con content because we're all very passionate about it, and we all really enjoy the convention, and we want to make sure anybody going for their first time gets the most out of it that they can. So, yeah.
There's so much.
There's so much. And there's so much we haven't even touched on. But we probably should wrap this up.
But this is a good jumping off point.
Gives you totally.
Good basis. If this is your first time going, this definitely gives you, I think, the best basis you can get for sure for starting. And I hope you have a good time. I really do. I hope you go and you embrace it and just let your feet take you wherever they lead you to. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we wrap things up, we would appreciate any follows here on our Twitch channel here at Flicker_effect here on Twitch. If you're watching us on YouTube in the future, thanks for watching us. And yeah, you can find us also on Instagram, and we have a Twitter/X account at Flicker_effect as well. I will shout myself out. I do have my own YouTube channel now, Fadermonk. FADERMONK. I started a channel on YouTube recently, and I would greatly appreciate if you checked it out. And I also have a Twitch channel as well, Fadermonk as well. So I hope to be doing more streaming on Twitch here pretty soon. So please check me out there. With that, I'm David Lott.
Not Michelle Hillard.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for watching, Valencia, as well here on the chat. We greatly appreciate your company. So
hopefully we'll see you there.
Yeah, and if anybody watching this, you see us at Dragon Con, please walk up to us and say hi. We'd love to meet you. So thanks, everybody.
Bye.